is isn't. It depends if you put like a space. If you count a space as a character, which one's first? But I guess the first one is agitation then.
Yeah, agitation come up first. So, oh goodness, have to get my tier list making. Oh, I actually have to make the I have to make the actual list because
You perks. Starstruck goes straight in there.
let's see, I don't remember what the color order for mine was. So, nope, don't remember. So, just gonna go with this.
Review them based on what's in the picture. The fucking animal-based build.
Oh, yeah.
What has hands in it?
I did actually do that once, where it was like all the perks that have like the entity in them.
Oh, right.
Like corrupt intervention, thrilling tremors. It was funny.
Yeah. Oh, there's an odds video where he just did like the animal build, and it turned out to like he just like murdered everyone with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's like, it's poopy.
This is bad because crows like don't work with Deathslinger, and then he instantly got the information. He's like, I take that back.
Oh my god. All right, so yeah, I gotta get my tier face on. I don't know. Agitation's weird. I don't know exactly where. It's like a weird one to start on.
We're gonna have to like build. We're gonna have to just put it somewhere, and then because it's gonna be all these other ones are gonna be relative to the others, and I don't really know.
Agitation.
Right.
Actually, yeah, actually, it's weird because it's like it's kind of funny for the whole like picking up people and then chasing others with them, but in terms of like actually getting to hooks, it's like agitation and iron grasp are both pretty useful for that to like get you to hooks that you want.
Yeah, it's kind of a specific thing if you need it.
I've kind of needed it lately because damn, I've had like yesterday I had like 2 people escape my grasp. Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it's pretty good because in you get to move faster. It does what it does.
Yeah.
Well.
But what it does is not like always the most important. Just
It also increases your terror radius, which it now has a natural synergy with Starstruck, but that's we're getting into the realm of what synergizes.
I did not remember that. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It
move
was
faster
not really
and
a bad thing because normally having your terror radius bigger is kind of bad, but like you're carrying someone, you're not going to be sneaking up on someone.
I should have brought that with my dumb doctor build. Ah, if I had known.
Yeah, it increases your terror radius as well and makes you move faster. So yeah, with Starstruck, it's almost like they were made for each other.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I'd say B or C. It's.
I think it's good
We'll have
enough.
to move it later.
I put it in B, given what we made. Well, we'll have to see, but like
We're gonna have to.
comparing it to like the kind of B killer survivor perks and that kind of usefulness
Yeah.
level.
I mean, I kind of want to make this like relative though, because I don't want to. I don't want to say B for survivors, B for killer. It's just this is going to be all relative to
Oh
the
no,
kill.
for sure. But it's tricky because again, it's asymmetrical gameplay. So
Yeah.
it's,
Just put it in B because I don't.
I think it's fine enough. Yeah. Nurse's Calling. It's a pretty strong one.
It's a pretty strong one. The biggest downside is that it's kind of a small radius. It's not like super
28.
small, but it's enough that you don't always find something. But like you just find free people, and like just really just put the pressure on them, and they can't complete their heals too, which is.
There's better information posts, but it's not bad either. That range thing
like
though is does hurt.
A maybe because like it gives you good information though.
Oh,
Especially
yeah,
find
always
a few
the
people.
best kind. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, yeah. It is very good.
Yeah. I think it's a solid perk.
Yeah.
It has things that could be better on it, but it's still like pretty good for what it does. So. Bamboozle.
That is a very specific perk for if you have a very specific problem, which is Windows, namely that you're.
Are you Billy or Leatherface?
Are you Leatherface? Yeah.
Oh right, that was something I was going to bring up before we started this, where we have to kind of decide early on whether or not a perk being good for only a certain number of killers is enough to like allow it in a higher tier. If it's like, because like there are perks that like
They're
a
just
couple of
useless to
killers.
some.
Yeah.
I think it depends on like if it's like a decent amount of killers. If it's only a few killers, it's still okay. It might not be put as much as something that was a bit more generally applicable, but it definitely above like the trash.
Yeah. And I mean, I think Bamboozle is not like bad on its own, just because like
Yeah.
that effect is like pretty good. It's just not great.
Yeah, it's pretty B.
Yeah. Maybe low B, but yeah, I'd say B is fine.
There's a new perk as well, which does something very similar. So
Yeah, but you can get rid of it. Whereas this is...
yeah, no, we'll
Yeah.
get to that. But I'm happy with that being in B.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. B.
Oh, boom!
I mean,
I know it's funny to just like throw things on and just go like, oh yeah, let's
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on. I get it. It's funny, but let's just say I wanted to say why it's S, because it's both incredibly good information and bonus blood points. Like the bonus blood points things should have should be on like a shitty perk and you have to compromise for it. It's just like, no, here's incredible information. You put someone on a hook, you immediately know where you can go next. Oh, and here's some bonus points because fuck it.
and it's not even like other perks where it's like, oh, you get a bonus point in this category. It just doubles your fucking points if you get 4 hooks. It's like,
It's so
okay.
stupid. I don't get it.
Like, why?
When we I don't think when we originally played the game, but when we came back to it, like that was the first perk I knew of where everyone said, "Oh yeah, you've got to get this. Like you've got to, even if you don't like playing Leatherface." And he was like, "That was the old Leatherface, especially. Like,
Yeah.
even if you don't want to play him, you got to level him up. You've got to get barbecue because it's like the must-have perk, and it still is."
I remember... Did they change the way this works? Because I remember when
They did.
when we stopped playing, I had actually spent a lot of time playing Leatherface because like it was still like a must-have thing. So, I'm
I
not...
think if they added on the thing where it has to be unique people for the tokens.
No. I
Well, look
think
at
they-
the-
Each time they're hooked for the first time, you get 25% bonus.
Right, yeah.
Oh no, that's always the case. Okay.
Yep.
In fact, they just. What did they change then? I know they changed something.
The only thing they changed, and this was in version 2.6.0, so it's a while, is they made it so that
The distance away, it doesn't level, or it doesn't go down with level, it's just static 40 meters. And also, they increased... Oh, no,
previously how the bonus worked is it like at level 4 it worked, at level 3 they worked the same, but at level 1 it was 15%, but you could get all 4, so that would be 4 times 15,
60.
which is more, yeah, and then it would go up to 20 and 25, and now it's 25% always, but the maximum is 50, 75, or 100 based on how.
So essentially, they just essentially made it better?
Yeah.
Like,
They made it.
not in like a really dynamic way, but they just actually made it better. That's insane. What the fuck are these devs doing?
But it's not
I
like.
think it was more they were just wanted to get rid of how confusing.
No, I mean, I get that, but
Warfare
like,
is.
like when you have a perk that is this fucking good, like you have to consider ways to not make it like the perk that everyone uses. But
You know what's funny? You're drawing these emotions, right? But it's not like a perk like survivors complain about either. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got no
Yeah.
reason to. It's not like they don't care how many points you get and stuff like that. But it's just kind of
Right,
funny that
yeah.
it's like it's absolutely busted. But it's like
I just don't
nobody's
understand
pissed off about it.
their development cycle where they're like, okay, we put out a buff for fixated, and it's like, that's cool. What about like all these other perks that are just wildly imbalanced? Can't you just like do something even small to them? I don't know. It's strange to me.
Anyway, but yeah.
Beasts
yes.
of Prey.
Speaking of throwing things into tiers and comedically
I
dismissing them,
I still don't understand the point of Beast of Prey. I just don't get it.
holy shit. The point is you get 50% bonus blood points for actions in the 100 category.
Like that, yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna scrap barbecue.
And the fun part is that only like that's awarded during the trial instead of post trial, so that just helps you reach the cap faster. That doesn't let you get more points.
Oh,
What's it
Jesus.
supposed to do? Like, so they're in chase. The terror radius goes, and then they just so they just like
The
stop.
undetectable gets rid of the blood. It gets rid of the
Red stain.
red stain, which is what it originally.
Oh,
did.
jeez, I lost them.
Undetectable was a thing, and the idea is they don't have the red stain to help them, which okay.
It's like
I guess,
that's
yeah, it gets rid of the terror radius as well. But
undetectable
how
is like
stupid are they gonna be?
undetectable is like not a bad thing for a chase, but when you have bloodlust, you're already like in a bad position. Like if you've like how long do you have to be in a chase for that to even activate?
Quite a while.
Yeah, it takes a while.
I should go.
15 seconds, 30 seconds, 40. I've never even seen tier 3. I don't. Wow.
Yeah, that's tier 3 is pretty bad.
So yeah.
I have to think though, like bloodlust has gone through a lot of changes. So I'm trying to look.
I don't see any specific numbers here.
It just says at the top, it says 15, 30, 45.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah, you should. Right, so it's twofold, right? So you shouldn't really be in a chase for that long to get the bloodlust. Ideally, I mean, don't get. I mean, it happens to all of
tier
us.
1
right.
sometimes, yeah.
But, like, how stupid is the survivor going to be? Like, just go, oh, I lost him. I'm just gonna stop being
Well, the
chased.
idea was like up until 3.4.0, all it did was get rid of your red stain, and like they just
Yeah,
changed
making it
to
undetectable is a
bloodlust.
little better, but it's still crap.
Well, they changed it to undetectable just because they had the status effect, and that gets rid of
Yeah.
the red stain.
Well,
So they
Yeah.
really
It's-
should be.
It's still not worth it.
Yeah,
It's
I
but
can't
I mean, like, it's not like they actually think you're gonna like drop the chase, you know?
But the only survivors who are gonna be fooled by that are like brown ranks who
Well,
you really shouldn't be having trouble with anyway.
It's not about dropping the chase, it's about like the fact that you hide that information because the red stain is actually used for like knowing where the killer's going. Like,
Yeah,
you know, that's why
Yeah,
people
it's
like
used
run
for in a
backwards and
loop
shit.
to see. Yeah,
Like
but that's still not much of a benefit.
it
Hold on.
isn't.
Hold on,
Anyway,
my cat is having a fucking fit. Hold on.
What?
You dumb cat. Come on. Up here.
not literally.
She got her paw stuck in the chair while jumping on it and she just couldn't figure out how to get up on
It scared
the
me
chair.
there because my cat had a fit and passed away, so I thought you meant literally.
Oh, no.
No, that's alright. Jeez.
I mean, she's old, but I don't think she's still alright.
I think that would bring down our funny video.
I mean, it's got dead in the title. Alright, anyway.
No, it's not going there.
Alright, bitter murmur.
Alright.
I don't
So,
like
alright.
bitter murmur, but I hear it's really people
It's-
like it.
It's alright. It's sort of like a good beginner perk because it's available to everyone, and it's actually not bad. It's just like you get to see where everyone is.
I don't know how
when a
useful that
generator
is. though.
pops, which is usually, you know, if you don't have anyone, then you can see it.
You-
I would never say no to information. Like any information you can get is good, but I don't know how useful that is because it's not like, okay, the thing is you don't need them in that situation. It's like empathy. Okay, they could do with a heal, so that's the use out of it. That's just like a
Well,
gemstone.
You
It's
know
not.
which direction they're going though. Like with
I'm not saying it. I'm not. Again, I'm saying it's any information is good information, but it's not. That's not like relevant I don't think there's like a correlation between a gen is done and you know where everyone is. I'd rather know where another generator is to go on that or something, you know? I don't need to know where everyone is.
It's like
in
the
the
best
event
thing
of a
it can
gen.
do is give you an idea. It doesn't.
It doesn't hurt, but
Yeah, it's not concrete enough, in my opinion. But
The last generator effect is actually pretty good, but it is a last generator effect.
that's the thing. It's like the Noed thing.
That
Where it's
point.
like, yeah, you can't.
It is BC borderline.
I'd put it in C.
Yeah, me personally, just because.
I mean, it might move it up when shittier things come out, but
Yeah, we will
I
see.
think C. There's, I think being able to see the a different generator to go on is more useful, or seeing the killer is more useful.
Speaking of shittier things, Blood
Yeah.
Echo.
I don't get it.
No.
It at least gives people exhausted.
If they're injured.
Yeah.
Combine it with
I mean,
barbecue, and they'll
if
never
you
get away.
run it on, like, say, Legion or the Plague, that probably would actually, trigger fairly often.
But then they have to be found in the
They
next
have to be
45
injured
seconds.
already.
Yeah, they have to be injured. They have to be found within the next 45 seconds, and then chased around. I don't know. It's
That's even more
It is
irrelevant.
somewhat like they actually like if they run, it doesn't tick down. So
well, still.
yeah,
It's like, oh, you can. Pick
I
them up.
think it may be D.
I think it might be D though. It's not. We're gonna. There's definitely worse things than that though.
I don't know, because I can't imagine anyone getting use out of it. Like, even still, I can't imagine anyone ever saying, oh yeah, no, like, the linchpin of my build is Blood Echo. Like, even for a gimmick, it's
I'm trying to play like devil's advocate here. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm just trying to think of
We'll see
situations.
how loaded the F tier gets.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, move it to the left of that, and that might be like borderline. I mean, we're not doing the ordered thing,
Right,
but
yeah.
just to remind us
Just
that we
to
might move
yeah.
that up. Because I'd certainly find more use for that than Beast of Prey, theoretically. I still
Here.
wouldn't want to take it.
Yeah.
But, okay, Blood Warden.
Blood Warden. Blood Warden is weird. It's hard.
Wait, you didn't actually put something in there.
No, Blood. They have it in different order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anything with a space kind of throws off the order compared to the
Yeah.
Wiki.
They have
Okay.
it. They go by order without spaces. So.
What are we on now?
We'll just do Blood Warden since we mentioned it. Blood Warden is weird.
It's when it works, it's pretty great, and you just get to watch everybody cackle. That's a big if.
It's a big if. That's the thing. Yeah, like getting that, because it isn't even just like powered.
They have to be open.
They have to be open, and once the gates are open,
Yeah, anything can happen.
and especially
Depends what altruistic they are.
You could say they could leave, but they won't leave. They don't.
Depends who they are. If it's a bunch of like selfish solos.
well, that's the thing though. Like they'll leave unless you've got somebody, in which case they probably won't leave. They also probably won't open the door. Like that's like
Yeah, that's like a new.
On the other
Okay,
hand, you
meta.
can open the door if they drop your like.
yeah, but you have to get in a situation where you have somebody down. And
Yeah,
then-
I know it's not
Yeah,
that bad, but it is still a lot of hoops,
it's
Everyone 99's the gates these days.
Yeah. Like, there's like a real thing with killers where, like, if you're not in a position, like, you're not in a good position whenever the gates are powered, like, you can't really do anything.
I haven't used Blood Warden, but there are times I kind of wish I had it. But those is like very specific though. It's like most of the time I wouldn't.
I mean, when it works, it's fantastic. When it works,
Yeah.
it's very deliberate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a wasted plot. Maybe C.
Definitely D.
Yeah.
D, fine.
See, I'm in this weird spot now because I'm like, it's not on the same level as Bitter Murmur, but. Jeez. Oh, right, yeah, you can see the Wars and Survivors, I think. Or is it-
In
yeah,
the
yeah.
exit rates, which is not helpful at all.
No. You can tell if they're leaving. Yeah, it's
Other than
It's a nice benefit, but
fuck
it-
them, yeah.
Yeah.
The planets have to align for it to really get used. Bloodhound.
Oh,
Oh,
I get this mixed up with Beasts of Prey because they're icons, but I actually really like Bloodhound.
oh yeah, the animal build.
Yeah.
It's
It's sort of a training perk because I've
yeah.
found I've gotten very good at like seeing blood traps, but it is a good training perk and it does make them really visible. Like,
Well, it doesn't just make them more
Blow
visible;
the
they
fucking
last
top.
longer as well.
oh yeah, they last 4
It's not
seconds
bad.
longer.
It's a
Yeah,
decent fucking perk.
that's okay. Yeah.
I'm willing to put in B.
C. I would say C. I don't think it's as good as because the blood still exists. It's not. I mean, it helps, but it's not like.
I'd
I would say
lean
C
towards C.
That's fair.
because it's the blood still exists in the game.
That's true.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It makes it way more visible, and I watched USK play the twins, and it was very useful there.
Yeah, it
without a
was useful in a
doubt,
way
but-
that it didn't even really need it, and still.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I think Victor just has that.
Yeah, I didn't know
He
that.
does.
I actually haven't
Um,
played them without it, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, Victor just has Bloodhound Vision.
But still, yeah, like I got.
I'd say C. It's pretty useful. It doesn't hurt. Brutal strength's pretty good.
Yeah, so Brutal Strength used to kind of see it as the poor man's enduring, but I'm getting a lot better at like not getting hit by pallets, and also there are a lot more breakable walls around.
Yeah, and also if you're gonna like kick gens a lot, that speeds that up. In fact, you can let's say you
If
chase
you're
someone
running
off a
other
gen.
perks, yeah.
Yeah, you can also like if you chase someone off a gen, you can more reliably do a very quick kick before pursuing them, which normally you can't really do. But brutal strength makes that
I
a bit
think
more
that might be
viable.
pushing it, but
Yes, it just adds a little bit to it. I'm not saying that's like clutch or anything, but it's
It's one of
lets
those
you get
things
away
that-
with kicking gens a bit more.
It has that
I think
thing where it's like you do it
solid B.
enough that
Yeah.
like, you can do
Complete
it
the
enough
process.
that
I was running it on the twins recently. We're running everything on twins apparently, and it was just I was just like I just broke through all the damn pallets and breakable walls, and then just I reached this point where it was just like they had nowhere to run, just because I got through that. And yeah, it pairs up nicely with anything that relies on breaking, like like Spirit Fury and things like that, and Pop goes faster. It's just generally B.
yeah.
Pretty good. Doesn't hurt. It's not like the funniest or the most exciting perk, but it works. It does its thing. Unbreakable walls, like you said, Yoshi. There's like more of those nowadays. So as soon as you can cut those off, the better.
I'm trying to decide where the next one goes.
Corrupt Intervention.
Corrupt Intervention
Hey.
is a really good perk.
It is S tier in my opinion.
I would say-
It's so good. It just
I'd be more leaning towards A, but because I find it's better for specific killers. But I don't know.
I
just
I'm not
everybody
afraid- I'm
likes
not-
having
I'm not
a
against
smaller play field because
here's
It
the
does
thing.
let you apply pressure faster.
I think it is better on some killers more than others, but I think every killer in the game gets good use out of it.
I'm
yeah,
fine
I
with
see
that.
it all the time. Yeah, obviously, like Trapper gets huge use out of it. Anyone who likes to set up their area gets huge use out of it.
Who
Or
gets
has
use out of it?
bad early
Plague,
game, but at
Plague,
the same time,
Trapper.
Mm-hmm.
regular
Trapper,
people
huh?
get a good use out of it.
Demogorgon, anyone that needs setup.
But it doesn't like you said, Yoshi doesn't hurt others either.
Yeah.
Just to shrink the playfield. Yeah, I guess S. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just out of all the I can't think of too many killer perks that'll be there, but we'll see. I know one that isn't going to be there.
Gloriophobia.
The fear of clowns and the fear of good perks.
It's not that
not-
bad, mind you.
I was going to put in D,
Whoa.
but
Yeah, it's
I-
seedy. It definitely is not good that it is overshadowed a lot by Nurse's Calling.
or
Because unless you're running a really very silly build, just seeing them and hitting and like getting up in their face is more effective than slowing their healing speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have only run it with like themed builds, like distressing on Doctor, so like get like more skill checks and things like that. But it's generally not great. A D or C, maybe even D.
I feel like I've never, like, as a person who's played a lot of Survivor, I've never ever been in a situation where I'm like, oh no, not choleraphobia.
Yeah,
I've
I think
used
me more like it, seeing some of the other perks that are there.
oh, shit.
Hmm?
I'll work out what the actual. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up.
I know what it means.
Speaking of pronouncing things
Oh.
correctly, the next perk is Coupe de Grace.
Coupe de Grace.
All right, so it's coulrophobia or choleraphobia if you're American. So I'm not saying we've both been saying it right.
Perfect.
Okay. Because I was like, I remember this, on an episode of QI, Stephen Fry said, "Does anyone know what coulrophobia is?" And it just kind of stuck with me. But then I heard it pronounced another way, so I was like, "Oh, I said both right."
Fair enough.
So Coupe de Grace.
This is stupid.
I haven't used
You
coup
know
de grace,
what?
but it's
The
really
thing is-
funny.
Coup de Grace. I just want to say for the record, I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
Coupe de Grace. I don't speak French.
So what really sucks is it doesn't actually make you lunge faster, it just makes you lunge
Longer.
longer.
When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. I could get a lot of use of that." And then I realized it's like a token-based thing. I was like, "Oh," because you imagine just like, I mean, maybe that'd be too powerful, but just
Oh
like,
yeah.
like unrelenting or something, just a general kind of M1 power, like sloppy or something.
Oh yeah.
It
Because
just
you
gave you a
can't
big
really
lunge.
control it that much too. It's like if you need to lunge, like
Yeah.
you can like not lunge, but sometimes you need to lunge.
Here's the
and
thing,
that'll
like,
be token.
I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I actually really like that ability. But then I never used it because I'm like, I would never ever control my lunges. I would always waste them because I'm so I use them.
I wouldn't keep track. I'd
constantly.
forget to keep track of that.
Like I would just waste one immediately and then be like, oh shit. So, but
It does something, and like I can see it on people with like the super lunges, like from their power, like race
Michael.
out of stealth
Oh,
lunge,
Oh
yeah.
god, yeah.
spirits out of power lunge.
I don't want to say it's bad because it sounds good. I just
The first based on tokens,
do think
and then you've got to be careful not to lunge to save it. You know, you're like, "Ugh."
and of course it's none of those ones where like you get better as you're losing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's one token per generator, and you're probably gonna lose one or two generators.
I would say more D, but I wouldn't be offended by C.
I don't think
Uh,
it's D tier. It's at the very least got uses. It's just
Yeah.
it's more situational.
I
Hmm?
don't know. I think cholorophobia is more useful than this.
I don't think so. I think I mean because you
No, I
got some.
think I'd be right.
I don't know. I don't.
It's the difference between passive and active, and it's like you can still. It could coup de grace could like come in clutch, but it's like
I just
I
think
don't
because
know.
like it has the capability of actually getting something done if you use it smart.
I guess so.
I just think it has it's dynamic enough that I think it, like I feel bad saying it's bad just because I can't use it. You know. I think it's.
I can't think of many people have used it though.
I've seen it in
watched, like, a lot
streams
of
or
different killers.
like some of those like videos, and I actually thought it seemed like it was pretty neat. Just,
Oh, alright.
but you're right though. I haven't.
I just
actually
think
seen
the
using it
token
yet.
things hurts it way too much. And also, I want to point out that it increases the distance. It does not increase the speed.
True, but I mean
You
that's
go further,
yeah.
but not faster.
I mean the fact that the lunge is a pretty fast attack, so
I just don't know if it's like I just now I'm reconsidering coolophobia because that's like I don't know. I don't think it's like much worse than that. It's anyway.
No, I think colorphobia is pretty garbage. But I don't know.
Anyway,
If y'all say it's D, then I gotta,
No, I'm willing to let you.
I'm not sure myself. I'm not like.
That's the thing. None of us has really used it, right?
We'll just leave it and see then. I can imagine. I think
Yeah. Low
Probably
C.
B.
Low C. That's is what it is. I always forget which one this is.
Cool
Oh,
limits. When a generator is repaired, all windows in vault locations within 32 meters become blocked for 30 seconds.
uh,
Great.
D.
that's a solid
But
D
like
skill right there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you happen to be there, then sure, but
If you
that's
just
kind of
manage to stop them, but
not quite stars aligned, but it's still pretty bad.
and if they go to it, oh god, 30 seconds. Ugh. Like if they just, let's presume they'd even stay there like for that long, or just not move on to the next loop.
Speaking of, can I put like the
First
next 4
five.
perks in D tier? Jesus Christ, this is a weird slump we're in. Dark Devotion?
That one's alright. It's
This one's hard to evaluate because it's so. It gets points for being so unexpected and just messing with people's heads. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I will, like, when I get hit by this, I will be, like, running for a while, not realizing that I'm the terror radiance.
No,
Oh,
John.
shit, it was
and then you can run back into them because of that shit.
Yeah. It's alright, so yeah, like this undetectable alone is like enough to be okay. Just
Yeah.
because I do wonder if, well, no, I guess if you're running the skill then you know what's happening, so you're probably gonna take advantage.
Yeah.
Anything that gives undetectable is pretty decent.
Yeah, like Beast of Prey.
I want to take back what I just said.
We'll
Yeah,
get
you
to
just
the
need to
worst
chase them.
undetectable,
You
in a
need to
while.
chase someone around a gen until you get bloodlust, and then use that for a gen grab where they happen to be at.
Let me see. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
I might even say
it's
B.
fun as hell.
I don't think it's B because I don't think it's that
I don't know,
good.
it screws with people. I mean, it gives undetectable
You
without
do
much
have to
effort.
hit the obsession.
I think you're going to be doing that anyway.
Well, you have a 1 in 4 chance of
sort of.
finding them.
Yeah.
I think B
You
is
do
like
have to hit the obsession and then be willing to go somewhere afterwards.
Yeah, like you have to, like, it's another one of those stars align sort of thing.
Not quite, because, like, you might be
Uh.
running, like, play with your food with this.
It also happens if you down them as well. Like you can slug them and then screw with people. Like they go, oh, they're down there. Well, the killer's over there, and then suddenly you appear. I don't know. I
True.
think it's a little more useful than
Yeah.
some of those other ones at C. But
I don't think it's quite B, though.
I don't think so either. It's
alright.
'Cause
I mean, I don't like a big.
yeah, because
user
like
of it, but
B perks are like actually still pretty useful. This is like
too
it's
specific.
gimmicky. It's super gimmicky.
I think C's like can be useful, but
Yeah, yeah.
specific.
C is useful but gimmicky. I'd say. Dead
But, like,
Man's.
well, look at the tier list. So, like, I would say S is like absolute must-have. Like, go out your way to get this teachable. A is like very good. Like B is like generally all round pretty good. On like, it never hurts to have. C is like can be good but like specific. D is avoid, and then F is just garbage.
D is
Just like-
D is like
It does something.
it does something, and then F is it does nothing.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Switch. I forgot what this does because no one runs it.
After
Okay,
hooking
so-
the obsession, Dead Man Switch activates for the next 45 seconds.
Oh,
When activated, any survivor that stops repairing a generator before it is fully repaired causes the entity to block it until the effect ends. It is shown in white aura. Yeah,
So, like, this is a really good effect, but the fact that you have to hook the obsession to do it
Dumb.
is
Yeah.
Like why is that prerequisite? Why is that there?
you get three fucking you get three activations max, and that's if you're doing good at hooking the survivor.
That's too hard to activate. It's not a bad effect, but it's too specific to activate.
it's like not that it's entirely worse, but it just sounds to me like worse Thrilling Tremors. Like
Yeah,
it
kinda.
actually blocks them off. Oh no.
Well, I mean, thrilling tremors can do that, but it's
Yeah.
more specific.
Thrilling Tranche doesn't require hooking the obsession. It doesn't, and it also doesn't require them to be already repairing it and then stop doing
Yeah.
it.
The one
I mean,
thing
if
is
someone
that
gets hooked,
throwing tremors doesn't block it for very long. The Dead
Right.
Man Switch can block it for quite a while, and it probably will because they tend to like let go right away or not at all. That kind of situation.
that's the thing though. If they feel like they're safe and there's a hook and they've got like Kindred or something, see someone else is going, then they're not going to let go of the gen.
This is the kind of perk I would run. Like, I would have to make, like, a build for it and then run it and then, like, really see if I can get some use out of it, but I feel like I have to work really hard.
That sounds like a C tier to me then.
I would say D. I think hooking the obsession is too damn specific. On top of that, like you have to
It's
presume that
really
they're going to let go of the
gimmicky, but
gen.
I think the effect is fine. It's just...
The effect's fine, but the payoff is
I'm
too
willing,
much for it.
I'm willing to give it C. But only because that... Like, using it, I don't feel like I'd be miserable. I just think, like, I'd be using... It would just be very gimmicky.
You could also probably make a Nemesis build, and with some
Right.
other 10 perks.
I
Like-
really think it's D. I think that's too damn specific. If I hook one very specific person as well. If it was any survivor, I think it would definitely be C. But the fact it's only one, I think makes it D.
You just got done giving Dark Devotion credit for making it...
But
like,
yeah,
hard
but you're going to be
enough.
hitting them anyway. That's yeah, but that's like for
It's a
general.
lot easier to hit a
Detectable.
survivor than it is.
That's...
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I'll give you that, but still...
And it doesn't require them to be on a gen and then let go of the gen before it's finished. I think there's too many variables with Dead Man Switch. I really think it's D. I think there's too many things going on, and even then, it just shows you where, the gen is. Something like surveillance is better.
Well, I mean, when they get off of it, like, the moment that it gets highlighted, that actually at least tells you, like, hey, somebody just left this place. So either they're in that area or they just left it, and they're probably going to go for the person who was unhooked if they just left a gen that wasn't near you. And if they did leave one that was near you, then
I just think it's a high cost for something, and then it's very specific beyond that as well. You've got the obsession, then you've got like the specific circumstances.
I still think the effect is good enough to make it at least, like, in the weird gimmick tier, you know?
I guess.
Like, I mean, I'm not arguing for it to be considered good. I'm just saying it's okay
Alright.
for gimmick builds.
But that's why, I agree with that. But that's why I would say it's more like Coolophobia or something. But
No, because I don't think
Well,
Colorphobia is
Bloodborne.
good for any build.
Yeah.
I still think the D tier is...
If I'm being outvoted, then that's
Yeah.
fine.
Like, for me, D tier is just like, don't bring this, but if you did, at least it would do literally something. Whereas C tier is like, you could probably actually get some good use out of it, but probably not as much as anything above it.
Yeah, sure. Alright.
Speaking of, yeah, Deathbound is kind of in that category, where it's...
I don't know. It seems more like B tier because it is like you get location on a survivor, 2 survivors because one just healed another.
Right, yeah.
And they also have 60 seconds where they're basically oblivious, unless they're really stupid and just fucking butt hug each other.
Yeah,
They have to play kind of very cautiously for a while because
The
they
problem
can't
there
be
is
radius.
they have to be 32 meters away though, so you're already
At least 30
healing in a safe distance.
Well, true, but I mean, at the same time, like, Barbecue and Chili is 40 meters away, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of thing happens all the time, honestly. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Deathbound, like, not be useful, because 32 meters is, that's outside, like, almost just outside Nurse's calling range. That's not that far.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, Oblivious isn't amazing though. It's not like.
Well, yeah, but you're not bringing it for Oblivious. That's just a nice benefit. Like, having the
You're bringing it
location...
for- I think, like, both those effects combined are what make it good enough for B. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
I've
if it was
never
just
really bought it.
oblivious or just revealing, then it wouldn't quite be there, but getting both of those.
yeah, I mean, you have the location of 2 people, like, just anytime that someone heals someone else, and they probably will if you're, like, they just unhook somebody.
I guess I've never really run it. So.
I've gotten a surprising amount of use out of it. It pops off a lot, so
Alright, well, that's fine. I don't have a strong arm.
uh
Deerstalker.
Deerstalker.
It's
It's very much like agitation or a bamboozle. If it's like a very specific problem.
am I going for slugs?
Yeah,
But
but
I also have to point out, dying survivors make noise and leave blood behind. So
I
at
think
the
it's
same
like
time, I have
important.
lost survivors like a lot.
like
Uh,
there are perks that go against Deerstalker, but
it's
It's
also
perfect
36
information.
meters. That's way farther than you can see blood or hear them.
that is pretty good actually. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It is. It's perfect information. I mean, I know it's not perfect information because it's 36 meters, but that's 36 is close enough. It's perfect information. The only problem is it's like specifically just dying. It's not like it's not going to help you in any other regard. That being said, it is these slugging perk. Like I've gotten so many people with fucking Bubba.
Yeah,
You know, I know where they are. They don't necessarily know. Like they think maybe I've lost them, and then you just go swing the chainsaw into them.
Not sure I would call it the slugging perk, but it is a helpful slugging perk.
I think just because I
I
still
don't
feel
mean
like,
the slugging poke
yeah.
isn't it's like the must-have. I just mean it's like it's tailored for that, in my opinion.
I feel like that using it specifically for slugging is specific enough to put it in C though. Like,
I would say C. I think its usefulness is on par with Bloodhound. Bloodhound has more general
But at
use,
the same
including
time,
finding
like,
them.
we put bamboozle there.
I still think bamboozles, like, you still get uses of it from other killers. It's
I'm
better
thinking-
on others, but
I'm thinking Bamboozle might be C. Actually, I don't think it's as useful as some of those other ones.
Well, no, you can cut off certain loops.
yeah, there are certain loops that you
Wherever
like.
you
Yeah, right. Anyway, yeah, Deerstalker's C.
Yeah, I just think it's C. Like, it's
Good if you ever have been losing them on the ground.
yeah. Discordance.
I think that's A
That's-
tier.
A.
It's close to S, but I don't think it's quite S. But it's pretty damn good.
They
So I always get it mixed up with the Tinkerer because they're kind of similar in some regards.
a little bit, yeah.
I would say A.
I have a concern though. How likely do like good survivors team up on gens as opposed to tackling other gens, like separate gens?
I feel like it's
It is a known play, especially with Survive with Friends. Like if they are really gen rushing, like it's a known way that you
and
know. if
sometimes
you've got
you
a
just
one-friend-
it depends on where they initially spawn to.
True.
It depends if it Survive with Friends and solos like that.
And it
it's very
definitely
different.
helps when you're down to a few generators. Then they kind of have to team up.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, okay.
I would say
It
A.
also helps that they don't really. Like I'll look and say they had discordance, and I would never figure that out during the actual match. But you don't really get the survivors don't really get to know that they're being revealed.
Tinker is more obvious. Like if they suddenly come for you when it hits,
And
that's
they have no
that's
terror
all.
radius.
Yeah, then that's all
Yeah.
more obvious. Discordance is very, very good. The only thing that stops it being S is the fact that they have to team up on it, and that might never happen during a game.
Yeah.
Probably will, but it might not. And it is made. I mean, it's literally made for Legion because he's the one who can just chain stabs. So
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
who can like good at snowballing, like I guess Bubba or someone, like you could. It's really good for the nasty slugging playstyle.
I do want to point out.
We'll go on everyone.
I just want to point out for the hell of it that Discordance up until recently was a perk that was better at level 1 because
Oh yeah.
they made it to where like what was it? Oh yeah, like it gets highlighted longer, but that actually meant that it was like less important information because it would be
By
highlighted for so
getting-
long.
By getting highlighted longer, you get less updates on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
It
Just
was-
noise notification.
yeah, it was silly. I just noticed that the way that the tier list maker has it set up, they didn't include the hex part of hexes. So the
Oh,
next
so
one
they're
is
kind of
actually Devour Hope. I don't know if we want to.
I think we'll
Let's
go by.
let's do the actual alphabeticals because then we're just gonna be talking about hexes for ages.
Oh,
Yeah,
as in like.
Next one is yeah, distressing.
Okay.
Big one same.
Oh. Um. Distressing.
Distressing is designed to be like a big back for blood point gain, but you can get use out of it for builds.
It is blood point, meme blood point perk or meme silly build perk.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I like it, but it's
I will.
the uses for it are enhances anything that requires a terror radius, like Star
I think there are
Stroke.
enough terror radius perks and terror radius related things to put this in C. Is
I also want to point out that
a unique thing, but
when your terror radius is big enough, it makes it kind of hard to figure out where you are. Sometimes
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, and then again, it's another blood point thing.
it does give you away your position, so it's kind of a double-edged sword thing. But it does.
Yeah, the intention of it, I believe, is that you get extra blood points, but the cost, so to speak, is they know where you are more easily. But you know, it's if you use it creatively with other perks. I think it's C because it's and like things like Doctor's Blast and things like that. You know.
Yeah, and just a lot of perks and stuff. It has enough uses that it's fine.
Yeah.
Dragon's Grip is interesting because
I like it, but I can't say I've used it.
I used it a little and people tried it and then they kind of stopped.
yeah, it was one of those things that everyone like. I feel like a lot of people thought it was going to be really good, and then I haven't seen it in forever.
Yeah, it sounds on paper all right, but I think it just doesn't in practice work out as good as you hope it
I
would.
guess the idea is it's a trap for greedy survivors.
So the problems with it are one, the cooldown is pretty punishing, and
Yeah.
two, like kicking a gen and then having a survivor go right back to it is like not as common, I think.
Not until you're at the end game or the
yeah.
last couple gens.
But then you also have to like well, I guess you know what they did it, but then you have to find them and hit them within a minute, which is not the worst thing, but if they're good enough, they can evade you. But I think the bigger problems is that it just kind of requires you to do a lot, like
Yeah,
be
you have to
around
go
a
out of your
generator.
way to pick a generator. and
Yeah. You have to kick it. You have to get away from it so they'll actually touch it. Then you have to go back to it after knowing they've touched it, and then it's like you might spend a lot of time trying to set up that one hit knockdown, and you might not even get it.
It also doesn't work very well with either of the two omnipresent slowdown perks. Ruin, which doesn't let you kick generators, or Pop, which kind of encourages you to kick generators now.
Right,
when
yeah.
so you can't really control its cooldown.
That's a good point. Yeah. It sounds so much better than it is.
Yeah.
Is it C? Because
I think maybe C. It's not. It can be useful.
I don't think it's D tier. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. Now we have Dying Light.
I just say about Dragon's Quit though. I was
Hmm?
quickly say the. I suppose like a number of times I've kicked a gen and then some greedy survivor jumps on it. You know, having them exposed for a minute's pretty damn good. So yeah, I'd say C.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's just it's weird. It encourages a very weird play style, I feel. But yeah.
Dying Light.
Dying Light. I did not like that game at all. It was really fucking boring.
So this is it's not great. So it is a stackable penalty to repairing when you hook other survivors other than your obsession, and it encourages you to get your obsession. But if you do like kill your obsession, that's it. The perk's done. It's just goes away. And also, your obsession is not only unaffected by that perk, they get 33% faster heals on other survivors and on unhooks, which isn't as bad, but wow.
Yeah. It I actually forgot that you had to build stacks on it. I thought it was just like a base thing.
That's stupid.
That was my inexperience with it. Yeah, it's weird because it's like you don't want your obsession doing things because they do certain things better, especially better than everyone else. But you don't want to kill them because then
The
you'll
funny
be
thing is, as
worthless.
well, like it's completely contradictory to Michael's other perk, save the best to last. Because it's kind of funny. You don't want to run those two together, but they're from the same character.
Yeah,
Because
but
you don't want to hit them.
No, save the breast for last doesn't want you to
Delete position.
do the obsession either.
well, no, but this one kind of does.
Yeah, you got to hook.
Well,
them
no,
to
that's
get
just
the
because it kind of does and kind of doesn't. That's because it's both.
Yeah, it's just it's weird. But
I think it's D. I think it's
It's definitely D, yeah.
yeah, it's not F tier,
not
but it
utterly
is
useful, but
just the rest of it. I don't know.
it's one of those really convoluted ones as well. Like there's just
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you'd fix that.
that's dumb. It's just
It's just weird.
it's just overly complicated for no good reason.
Pretty much. Like that penalty is really annoying, but it's so odd the way you have to go around it. I don't know.
You know what isn't a complicated perk? Enduring.
Enduring.
Yeah.
Well,
It is one sentence.
yeah. It's probably the
I
simplest.
love these older, simpler perks.
Yeah. He stops at nothing.
I'd
But
say
I
A or B?
I don't
Say
like this
B.
perk as much just because it stops you from suffering as much from a thing that you probably shouldn't be worrying about anyway.
but it does let you like worry less about it though. Like you just swing through the pallet, and even if you do get stunned, it's like
Yeah, it's for killers like that. They've kind of been moving like it's for the killers that suck. That they don't really have anything to do but just run through the loop and just fucking face take everything because their powers don't let them do anything else about that.
yeah. I don't think it ever hurts. I think it's lets you be a bit less. And even if they mind, like here's the thing, like stopping a stunning a killer is like one of the best things you can do to gain distance, and that just reduces that effect. I don't know. My thing is I'm trying to compare it to brutal strength, which is also kind of let's just end this loop.
Yeah, but
pallet
brutal
loop is
strength's
possible.
numbers are a lot smaller than
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think because brutal strength has more universal utility, so you can use it on other things. But enduring just lets you, 50% is quite a lot.
I think it's B.
I think B.
I'll be overruled on that. That's fine. I don't think it's very good just because you don't want to be stunned by pallets anyway, and even if you did, like, I don't know, it's
But you also don't want to be dancing around them too much. You don't want the survivors to know you're scared of them,
I think at one point, like enduring and spirit fury was like definitely like a huge
Oh,
thing.
Jesus, yeah.
when
yeah, I
first-
remember
But
you
that's
mentioned it.
kind of just gone out of the meta as much now. Maybe because there's
Still
just
good,
more
but-
slots being taken up by other stuff now with the
Yeah,
the
because to be fair,
Like
like
two perks.
Spirit Enduring is like 2 perks again to solve a thing that you kind of don't want to be doing anyway. I don't know. I still just don't like it. But I mean, that's
I mean, if you can encourage them to throw it down as well, like that pallet's out of the game.
yeah,
So
but
they can only do that so many times.
I don't know. But I mean,
I mean, I don't really use enjoying myself. I'm not like I don't swear by it, but I think it's alright. I think it's B.
I mean, y'all said it's B, so I'm overridden. But
Better for it's more important on killers who don't really have other options than to just.
Yeah, like Michael, like tier 3, like you probably want to try and swing through the pallet, and then if you get stunned, well, it's not a big deal.
I mean, that's fine.
Well,
Fire up. Is fire up F tier? Because it is certainly not. Yeah, I'd say D.
I say it's D. You are gonna benefit from it. Like, F is like literally useless.
Yeah.
D
yeah,
is like
we said brutal let's see, brutal strength is 20%.
Oh yeah,
so it gives you brutal strength at the
At the end of the game.
yeah.
But you can
But
stack
you can
them.
also vault windows.
I remember seeing a video where someone ran fire up with I think it was he tried to like replicate every other thing. So he had like bamboozle, so he could vault faster. He had brutal strength for the faster kicking, and then like it stacked up at the end. And it was pretty funny. You just walk up to the pallet, just bang bang, and it just smashed through it like a fucking juggernaut. But it's not like Mimi, but it's not like
yeah, it's not like
It's a meme build. A meme perk. It's just
it doesn't hurt. You know, like these end game perks. They are what they are. It's, but I don't think it's F because it does help you,
yeah.
even if not a lot.
Forced penance.
I don't fucking.
it's. I mean, on paper, that's a good effect. Broken for 80 seconds, and protection hits aren't.
Uncommon, but
But if you've hit them, they're injured. And then if you're there, you might just chase them anyway.
Well, maybe because
But in this situation, there's two people being chased, right? So in this situation, there's two people being chased. You hit one, say the other one. I'm assuming like if the one who takes a protection hit, you know, really doesn't want the other one to be down. So you could still then go for the other one, and then they're still injured by the time you get back for them. Trying to think of the use of it.
Trying to say, I think it's C. Probably C. Does that sound right?
I usually one of the things I try to consider is how many times I've been in a situation where I have had trouble with this perk. If I'm having trouble thinking of whether or not like where to put in the tier list, I can't say I've ever been in a situation where forced penance mattered.
I would say
but at the
D.
same time, you wouldn't say you would have to be like in a situation where you're like, oh man, I'm in trouble because they have brutal strength. But that one, like,
Well, okay, not all the time, but like in a situation like this where it like directly like afflicts the survivors or makes them like change the way they act. This is something that like you would think like, oh, this would be a really big deal to a survivor, and I just have never like I'm sure I've been affected by it, but not enough to like matter. Just that I was broken.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It's kind of bad, but is it D bad or is it?
I think it's D-bad just because
I think it's D. It's not utterly useless, but too specific.
I wouldn't understand like why you would want to bring it. It's too specific in its uses.
It lets you continue chasing the person you were originally going for that didn't take the protection hit, and then come back for that protection hit person. But it's too specific. I think it's D.
Assuming that the person who's broken is still just there.
Yeah, you gotta find them again as well.
Yeah.
And it stops them from healing, but
It's too weird. Like I would just take Sloppy Butcher over that. Like if I was really that concerned about that person healing. Because then they don't have to take a protection hit, they just have to take a hit. Franklin's demise.
All right, so this one definitely gets a big bump from the fact that you can actually counter pick with it.
Yeah.
You have the ability to change perks while you're in the lobby and can see all the items that the survivors are bringing.
So
Yeah,
this
it is screw your key.
this is good. How good
It is
it?
good.
I think it's B, because at the end of the day, like if you end of the day, they still have ways to like get the item back.
And we're talking about like, I presume you take it on the lobby when you see they've bought items, but like theoretically, if you just put it on a build, and they don't have items. It's
Yeah.
I think it's okay if to like assume you pick it because they have items, just because I think the general rule is you're being smart with your builds and such. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna
Yeah.
downvote like Thrill the Hunt because it doesn't do anything if you don't bring another hex perk.
Right. Well. Yeah. It's. Yeah.
I think it's B. It's pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah. That's fine. B is fine. I know it's not going into B. You remember this perk? Because I always forget what the fuck this does.
Oh, good.
Okay, obsession. Each time you hook your obsession, you gain a token. You have to a maximum of 4 tokens. While in a chase, your terror radius is reduced by 4 meters per token.
Wowie wowie.
I thought it was even obsession based. Jesus Christ.
When a survivor rescues the obsession from the hook, that survivor become the new obsession. All tokens are lost when the obsession is sacrificed or killed.
Right. So F.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Was
What?
this before the Ani came out and you could just use Nemesis for keeping the obsession alive?
No, Ghostface is... Well, actually, I can't tell you that for sure. I thought Ghostface was pretty recent.
After. Oh no, hang on.
No. Ghostface was before the Demogorgon and the Ani.
Oh right.
Hmm.
It was on Ghostface, Ani, Deathslinger, Executioner.
Oh, the Oni is
What's
more
it-
recent than I thought. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you appear. He was like one of the first kills we saw when we went back to the game. It was no originally. First of Cheese. Jeez. Why is that got to be obsession based? Like, well, it's so useless. Like even the effect, like you got to put in a lot of work for a terrible effect.
This is a perk
In
where
a chase? Like what?
I genuinely don't understand any thought process behind this one.
The only thing I could think of is they were dipping their toes into letting you manipulate the obsession. That part where the survivor rescues the obsession, they become the new obsession. That's what they were doing, but they were really scared of it.
Yeah, it's so weird how like they do have these perks where they add drawbacks to them because they're afraid of them being too powerful, and then they end up being so bad that if you got rid of those drawbacks, people wouldn't use it anyway.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
strange. Like,
Why would you want your terror radius to reduce the chase? That's even worse than fucking piece of prey. Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah.
Like these perks are just like reduce your terror radius in a chase. Like I don't care. I'm in a chase.
No, yeah, I don't know what that would do.
I think first of chase is literally the worst we've seen so far.
I'd agree, yeah.
It's like a lot of work for a crap effect. Holy shit.
It's a lot of work for effect that I literally don't understand what it does. Like, genuinely don't understand what...
And it can stop working if they die.
It's like, oh man, this thing that does nothing doesn't work anymore. That's balance. What the
I
fuck?
like how at rank 3 you get 4 tokens maximum, which means you have to actually obsession juggle to get that many tokens.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
to be fair, I mean, actually, yeah, that happens automatically because somebody's got to rescue them from that hook.
Yeah, no, that's not... I like the idea that if you hook the obsession and then nobody rescues them, the perk just dies. It just fucking dies, and it literally does nothing to begin with. Oh, good
Worst
God.
perk so far.
Absolutely.
Gearhead.
Next one isn't very good either.
Holy crap!
Anything's gonna seem better than that, though.
The gearhead value. Oh no! You have to hit a
Times the-
survivor twice, and then you get it for 30 seconds, and then
That's F. That is.
wow, yeah.
I mean, I
whoa.
suppose I'm breaking the rule of saying like F is literally useless, but that is borderline useless. It's not.
It is
Yeah.
very useless because know what happens tends to happen with every other attack. Often is a down.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
I
30 seconds.
I mean, that's like what's it called? Like, yeah, the other Death Slinger perk we were talking about. But that's Dead Man Switch. But that's like even worse. Like that's much
Well,
worse.
so here's the thing though. The one thing I will give this perk is it remains highlighted for as long as they're repairing it. So, and you like no one's gonna know that you have that. So it gives you information about someone working on a generator up until they get off of it. But it's
See,
like,
I don't know if it disables at 30 second mark or not.
oh, you know what? I actually don't know either. It probably does.
Activates.
You know, it probably does. You know, does the perk page
It says
tell
as
me?
long as it continues being
Nope.
repaired, it doesn't say until it's not active.
Yeah, but they're things of light before, so
Yeah. But that's still just the worst Dead Man Switch.
it's a worse version of another Deathslinger perk. Great.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
wasn't too
we-
thrilled about it. I didn't like that one either.
Deathslinger got some like, you know, I like kind of vouch for Dead Man Switch, but man, his perks, jeez. Oh, he got well, we'll get to it. There was one, I think, if I remember correctly.
I almost said the next one is a Death Slinger one, but no, it's Pig.
Oh, yeah,
Hangman's Trick.
Hangman's
This sounds
Trick.
like something he would. The Hangman.
Yeah.
Spear Arrow's way before Deathslinger came around, but
Why is Overcharge in the next one on the tier list maker?
that makes no sense.
That's weird.
Maybe
Anyway,
they missed something and went back at it.
yeah, who knows? Hangman's Trick.
So there's something that kind of happened in the middle of their perk design is they would make a perk that would hose the meta that existed before the killer
Everything else.
and that stopped before the killer was released.
Right.
This is to nerf the hell out of the hook, the sabotage meta, which was terrible and horrible, but it was over by the time Hangman Tricks came out.
It highlights the aura of survivors that are 6 meters within the hook while you're carrying a survivor. So,
And
wow.
it warns you that it's
Also, you get a
sabotaging. It
loud
doesn't-
noise notification when the survivor begins sabotaging a
It
hook.
doesn't stop them.
You also
from
get one when they
sabotaging
end
you.
it, and that happens in like 3 seconds. But I mean,
Watch out,
this
warning,
was
warning.
made before it hook sabotaging took like 1 second.
yeah. That's
Air.
yeah.
Yeah, it is very outdated. It was outdated when it came out, and now it's even more outdated.
This is what I mean though. Like this perk has been in the game for so long, and they never went like, oh, maybe we should try fixing this completely useless piece of shit.
I mean, I'll give them this. They are starting a process where they're going back and fixing a bunch of old perks.
But it feels
No.
Hopefully.
Here's the thing: they actually tried to fix it.
Hmm?
They gave it that the aura of the seeing the aura of any survivor within 6 meters of a hook.
Wow. Wow.
6 meters. 6 meters.
So if they're
And
preparing,
then, like, level 1 is 2 meters. They have to already be doing it. To see the aura of something you're probably heading to.
I want to see the aura of the survivor who's doing that thing where they stand in front of the hook to prevent you from hooking somebody. Like, being able to see their aura is just going to make all the fucking difference in the world. Wow.
Right.
Alright,
Yeah.
so we have
Next time.
hit the
Next
hexes. That means I have to go find them. Hex Blood Favor. Oh, good lord, we're in the high
That's
rollers today.
Welcome to the first of quite a few. Why is this a hex perks?
Oh my god.
So congratulations, when you hit a survivor, they can't throw a pallet down within 16 meters.
The next 15
Because what is
seconds,
known is that survivors tend to be,
But you know the distance they gain from being hit, like, without any kind of weird perks or anything.
yeah.
Like how long is that? How much time do they gain for being hit? When they get that burst of speed.
Probably enough to get outside of 16 meters.
My favorite
enough-
thing.
And probably like gain enough time within maybe 15 seconds, unless they're very unlucky.
Yeah.
They
My-
are moving to an. If I get hit, I'm leaving that loop and I'm going to the next one.
Yep.
One of
By
my
the time
Also,
they
there's
catch
a
up.
40-second cooldown.
So it's too.
What?
Oh my.
I forgot about that. One of my favorite things is you take a perk like this, especially hex perks, and then you take away all the downsides, and then ask yourself, would you still run this? If this perk, literally all it did was block every pallet in the map when you hit somebody with a basic attack, would you still run this?
That would be like a.
That would not be
Make it
useless, but that would still not be, like, really good.
A big like universal effect like that would certainly justify it being a hex a bit more, but
Right, yeah, but no, like, if it wasn't a hex, if it didn't have a cooldown, it didn't have a radius, and I guess, well, I would have to have, like, the 15 seconds or something.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of that.
All the pallets for the rest of the match. Yeah, that'll probably do it.
So, but, like, all of that, you take away all of those downsides, and you're like, that still doesn't sound great. That sounds...
This is trying. I think what it's trying to fix is you knocking someone down and then getting pallet stunned when you carry them to the hook, which is just don't walk under the pallet, you idiot.
Yeah, like, if you've... Especially if you know someone... Well, I guess you don't always know if someone's near you, but, like... Generally, you want to have a good idea. Like, you want to be aware.
I was gonna say like if you actually use it to stop chase, like it's twofold. You won't be within 16 meters anymore, and it may or may not be within 15 seconds. So what's this?
Is this F tier?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just
And
making
then
sure.
I mean, it'd probably be D, and then the fact that it's a hex just definitely makes it F.
Yeah, yeah. I like the one below it is just an infinitely better, pretty much just a better version of this perk. With it's a better hex perk that the instant block shit.
It is like an alternate form of bamboozle. It is easier to activate because they have to do it.
Yeah,
but the drawback is that it's a hex, so it's interesting.
Yeah. And it is total shutdown, and they have to find that hex. It's interesting.
I don't know how super useful it is for it being a hex. I mean, it'd be great for the.
Seems like this could be okay, or it could be the next Dragon's Grip.
Yeah, it's too new, but
It's I can only really picture it being particularly useful in like Killer Shack.
I think I'm willing to.
Super useful there, though. Man, God.
I'm willing to put this in C, like with Dragon's Grip. Like, probably not as good as it sounds, but still good enough to not be like D tier.
Yeah, this is
I'm fine
definitely not
with that.
garbage.
Yeah, just it's all right. Just the fact that it's a hex, which I mean, I guess it's good enough to warrant having some downsides, but
Yeah, fine.
yeah, it's
I think
weird.
it's borderline D, but it's C's fine.
No, anything that can block any window whenever someone jumps through it. Just
Okay, so we're saying it's worse than bamboozle though, because it's a hex. I mean, bamboozle also gives you the slightly faster vault speed. Just thought I mentioned that.
Yeah, it's
we
a
mentioned
little
it
bit,
before.
but it does help. It's just
Doesn't
because
hurt.
like just because hexes are innately kind of
A
hard to
gamble.
use. Yeah, they're a big gamble. And even with Undying, like, they could both get, you know, snuffed out in a few seconds, and you lose it, and you just have a dead perk right away. And it's just there's not a lot you can do about it. Like, Undying is the thing you can do about it.
Yeah. Right,
So,
no problem.
yeah.
Devour Hope.
This may be, I'd say it's at least A and maybe
A.
S.
I would
think
say
it very much
A.
might be S if you run it with Undying.
I would vouch for A because I think you have to play around it and you have to adapt your gameplay style around it. But it's still, yeah, no, I don't disagree. It's incredibly good.
Well, see, the biggest good thing about it is they don't know it's a problem until it's too fucking late.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
getting exposed. And if they did that and they haven't found like they haven't found Undying or Devour Hope, they are fucked. They have to find 2 hexes before they can, not get insta-downed by everything.
I was wanting to put it lower just because it's a hex, and like, again, the thing I said earlier where you can just immediately get found, but I think the existence of haunted grounds and retribution, stuff like that, where like,
Oh yeah.
if you see a hex totem but you don't know what it does, then
Yeah.
you might actually hesitate to cleanse it. So I think Devour Hope gets a little bit more use out
And
of it.
Undying is also very powerful with this, and I think Devour Hope and Undying together, that's worth 2 perk slots.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I would say not before that Undying buff, but yeah, definitely with the Undying buff. Or the Undying change, because it was...
The Undying change makes it actually work with fucking...
Yeah, yeah. Because beforehand it was just like, oh, you lose your tokens, like... It was almost specifically for, like, to fuck Devour Hope and Huntress Lullaby over. It's like, why? It's like, come on, give us something. Hex Haunted Ground.
This is a funny one.
Yeah. This is sort of the killer's decisive strike where you don't have to run it to make people scared of it.
Yeah, like I just mentioned.
We just knocked it. It is, and you can
don't have to run it with
the hexes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've
actual
had
legit hex.
before I got Undying. That's a good way to keep them off your actual hexes. Because if they cleanse that first, they're like, oh shit, I better not touch anymore. And then here,
Yeah.
fucking Devour's still around.
So I guess I'd say an A.
I would
Yeah.
say B, but well, okay.
Well, yeah, it's hard because, well, no, again, because it exists. Like it's like what I said with Borrowed Time. Like the fact that it exists can affect game where it's not even being used. You know?
My only problem is it's a little random, presuming you don't know that it's being cleansed. You'll get the 60 seconds of exposed, which is incredibly good, but but on your end it's kind of random when that's going to actually deploy. You can't like choose when it happens, although it is incredibly good.
It is also worth noting that there are some killers that, for any exposed perks, which we'll be doing a lot of, there are some killers that just they don't work well with it because they rely on their special attacks.
Yeah.
I think more B.
But there are definitely enough, I do think it's A.
Yeah, I think it has enough power in it just of being around. It's something that it scares survivors, and there's not a lot of things that scare survivors.
That's true.
It's something I would actually see in a top tier build, maybe.
Yeah, I think just because it has like really neat builds that can be around it. I think it's A, just because, like, I mean, honestly, we don't have a lot of good killer perks. Not a lot of top tiers. Huntress Lullaby.
It's a meme thing.
Huntress Lullaby is funny on like one character, and so I'm a person who's bad at skill checks. Like, good enough to get the good ones, just consistently, because it's pretty easy to do. But as soon as you throw a wrench in it like that, it's just.
I fart to this more than most people would admit.
it is
Like, I've
actually
definitely heard people dismiss it as like, oh, they'll hit the skill checks anyway. I fart to it a lot.
it is actually really disorienting. Like not having a
It's-
sound for that bothers the hell out of me.
That's fine, but the drawback is that it is both a hex and you've got to work quite a
A
bit.
builder, yeah.
Yeah.
A building one, yeah.
I don't
Well,
think
at
it's
least
very
it's
good.
something that you're trying to do. Like it's not a side objective. It is hook survivors.
Right, yeah.
It's well, put it this way, right? I think the effect of it is it can be a bit disorienting, but if they're like good enough, it's not they're not gonna care. And also, it's a hex that can be broken, and also you got to get those tokens. Like that takes a while. I mean, 5 tokens to just get rid of the sound outright is a lot of work, and by then it's usually broken, and it's for something I don't think is a massive benefit. Because I've run this a
It's
lot.
either D or C,
so-
depending on how good your survivors are.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think C's too generous. I think it's the definition of a D perk.
Honestly, I'm willing to put it in D. Here's the
Yeah.
thing about it's the first perk I've ever heard of someone ask the question like, would you still run this perk if it wasn't a hex? And I would, but I still
Maybe.
think it would be middling as a result.
Yeah.
I also think it would be a lot better if it didn't just give itself away as soon as you have one token. Because as soon as you get one token, you get your first skill check. It's like, oh, by the way, you're hexed. It's like,
If it was a secret, it would be way more effective.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, they'd realize soon enough, but yeah, throwing them off like that, it's like, oh shit, what's happening?
Yeah, exactly. Like it has too much stuff going against it to be.
Too much work and it can get broken. In fact, I ran out of my gimmicky skill check doctor build. And it always gets like broken before you can get those tokens.
Yeah.
And by then, it's like 5 tokens to get rid of the sound outright. You're already winning that game.
Yeah. Plus, if you're it demands sort of a gimmicky build, which means you can't run like actual hex defense perks with it. 'Cause you don't have room for that and the gimmick.
Yeah, that's the thing about the doctor build is like,
It's stupid. Yeah.
yeah, you want Undying just to save it, and then but like you're saving something that's like just silly, like some sort
And
of
then that build, I needed distressing. I needed
overcharged. Yeah,
and bloody that trucker one.
unnerving
Overwhelming.
presence.
Yeah.
No, not over.
So I was already using it, even for like a stupid jokey build. I didn't have enough room for Undying to protect the hex. It was like it always got broken. It was not good. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely D. It's not utterly useless, but it's not great.
No, Ed.
So welcome to the perk that everyone hates, but it's actually really bad. Well, not really bad, but it's pretty bad.
It's pretty
It's-
bad.
Everybody hates it because it is bad.
If you run this, presuming you need to, you'll actually get use out of it. You'll get 1 kill.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
in my experience, someone runs an OED. First of all, you have to like lose the game, or come
Yeah.
close to losing it, and then you hit you look out, hit one person with no ed, and everyone fucks off because they don't want to screw with no ed. Congratulations, you got 1 kill. You got like
it is.
you didn't get the absolute
Right.
minimum.
It is a perk for bad players.
It really is.
Like it's one of the things. Like I have run it because I am a bad player.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I'm
And
not
then,
like an elite,
Even
but it's,
as a bad player, like even before I got good, I kind of realized, man, this isn't helping as much as I thought it would.
yeah, it is. Like honestly, it's one of those perks. Like every time I see a killer using it, it's because they did really badly.
and we're
Well, the
presuming
thing
they
is,
actually.
you can't, you don't even notice they use it if they,
Oh, they do bad enough. Yeah.
There's also, and of course, it is a hex, so it might be broken by the time the game ends. In fact, they've got the
No.
whole game to find it. But it's not
No,
like
no. It doesn't show up until then. But if survivors
sorry.
cleanse all tokens or all totems, it won't have a totem to spawn in. And I have seen that happen where someone
Yeah.
ran NOED.
It
and
is.
At the end of the game, there was no totem for it to go to because. And it's like, you can't bring Undying because it isn't there for most of the game.
Yeah. To be fair, most of the time you're going to have a totem left.
Most of the time,
Especially
yeah.
If you're on one of the newer
But-
maps.
But that's
It's
just
still-
a new
It's
thing.
funny when that happens, though.
I think it's the one kill.
And you can get hosed over by people who are doing a daily,
Yeah,
especially with a new small game now.
I think
It's annoying to deal with, but it's not actually good.
Yeah, no, it's
I suppose if you're the sort of player who's like very new and their definition is just getting at least one kill, then yeah, it works great because it does scare everyone off. But I'm not playing for one kill. I'm trying to get 4.
yeah, no, it's
Oh,
Bad.
okay, so yeah, D.
bad perk for bad killers. I hate it. Hex Retribution, the poor man's undying.
Yeah, before no.
And the poor man's haunted ground.
Yeah,
But I have seen people use this, and it's not bad. You
So-
get
one cool thing about it, you don't have to cleanse that hex totem. You just have to cleanse a hex totem. So if they can have it. You can have a situation where you get ruin, and then you see everybody. You know.
yeah for 10 seconds.
How much are they like cleansing dull totems though? You know.
Well, I mean that
Well,
that
that
affects.
that one's not the most powerful part. Like, it's nice,
no,
but
I'm
it's
just-
a random oblivious for 45 seconds for someone you don't even know necessarily is there.
Yeah.
Though it works great with Undying, because you now see their aura.
Oh god, that's right. It's a perk that does it does a couple little things, but or it does one little thing and one pretty big thing.
I think it's B.
Yeah, it's not bad enough to be like. It's just, I feel like it's overshadowed, but like you running it, you'd be okay.
It could be good with haunted ground, I imagine.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a great combo. I think I've run that combo before.
No,
Ruin
it's
his
a great
ass.
combo. This and insert hex perk here.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah, actually. Except
Insert good hex perk here.
oh yeah, that's perfect with Blood Favor or the Third Seal or
Oh yeah. Oh man, I'm sick of kills running like Retribution, Third Seal. Fuck.
So before we get all to that, Hex Ruin.
Ass.
Yeah, it's still S. It is something that like needs to be like it's either this or pop. And if you do bring this, you have to bring Undying, which is 2 perk slots. But it's so good, especially on killers who can just get around the map fast and just keep people off and just keep just be everywhere and harass them all the time.
Yeah.
Can I just say how
You
much I
need to
hate
be
how
actively around and harassing them a lot, but that is something you should be trying to do anyway.
looking at the top, I always hated how similar those 2 icons looked.
I know, right? I think that was part
Like,
of the
come on.
part of the build I had was like just all these perk icons that look kind of similar.
Generator icons.
Yeah. I think an overcharge. Oh man.
Ruin is still stupid good.
Yeah.
I
I've
mean, yeah,
actually-
you can break the totem, but even that takes time.
It's funny, I've actually heard, I think Odds actually made a video recently where he actually, he actually validated, running Ruin and Pop at the same time. Like, he actually gave a good reason for wanting to do that. So, like, it's just good. So, yeah.
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 You
I
know
don't
it's
think there's
not
any debate here.
good.
Third seal. Now, to be fair, being stuck with blindness for like ever until the hex is better than most blindness, which is nothing at all. Like this, like having that blindness for that long means all your aura abilities are fucked.
It's
And-
annoying as hell to have, but the
Yeah.
downside is I don't know anybody who would willingly run it if they didn't have something better.
Yeah, like
It is the best bad hex perk.
yeah, I know what you mean. It's the best. That's you wouldn't want to take.
'Cause
I get the appeal of the blindness thing, but it's not. I'd rather have the gens regressing for that same totem, and
Oh, for sure. But it is also again one of those things where like I think about me going against it. I've had Third Seal just like really fuck with me, and I just hated it. But
I have to say the quoted, I don't know, it sounds borderline like it was made in the generator. She touched your skin, you bear the witch's mark.
oh yeah, the hag descriptions. It's really funny that the hag was just like the Hex character. They like went all in on that.
Were they introduced with her or
I believe
Yes.
so. Yeah. I guess the same thing could be said of Michael and
Myers and the Obsession, although
Yeah.
that one is a lot very thematic. I guess the Haggis is too.
Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
that. I mean, she draws like hex things on the ground, doesn't she? So
yeah.
vaguely witchy things.
So, Thrill
Thrill
of the Hunt. I will say it is kind of funny how many hex perks there are that are just don't fuck with my hex perks.
Yeah, it makes sense as a design.
Yeah.
And Thrill the Hunt is actually pretty good because it slows down their cleansing speed, which is really good on an action where if you interrupt it,
It starts
they have
over.
to start all over again.
Yeah, that's the most annoying thing about totems. It's
And
like
you
when
get a loud noise notification whenever they try to cleanse your hex
I
totem.
get really stressed out when I'm working on a totem and they've like made decent progress on it, and they start having a terror radius, and you like really start debating, do you stay on it, finish it or not? Like,
Yeah, and sometimes you do stay on it and you get fucking caught like an idiot.
yeah.
It's weird.
then you find out it was
I think the
haunted
one
ground.
thing holding it back is that it only really works if you're really dedicating hard to hexes. But I
Yeah.
do think dedicating hard to hexes is a viable build.
God,
Is it not like?
Hmm?
Yeah, is it not like what about coming out to the next one though? You know, it's like, is it? It's not like redundant, but
No, well, it's not redundant because it actually notifies you when so you can actively defend your totem.
any information as well, just telling you where the survivors are is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird because it seems really good, and I think it is really good, but I don't ever see anyone running it.
I think there aren't a lot of people who run the actual like full hex build, but they are good. I do think they're good when you run them. It's just I guess it's getting all those perks together.
Yeah. And also like
So,
yeah,
As far
sacrificing
as-
your character actually getting benefits by just having it all on hexes. So it is
So
a gamble.
yeah, A or B. B
A
maybe.
is good.
A,
Yeah.
A's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really strong. It's just it's a hex. That's the thing about
Okay.
it. Speaking of really strong hexes,
You just
here
put
is
it right up the top there.
Undying. As soon as I fucking find it, because Jesus.
I
Oh,
can't really help because the video's a little blurry on my end.
yeah.
It's Hex Undying. It's like everybody was complaining about the randomness of hexes, and they fixed it by putting in another perk.
Yeah.
Funny thing about it is, even without the like using it with another hex as intended, it's still giving you information. Like it's not even useless by itself. Even if you don't use it as intended, it still gives you perfect information
random
for anyone
fucking-
who's
Random ass information.
random, but information all the same.
Yeah, and there are definitely chases where you chase someone past a totem.
yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Shout outs to perks where the levels are just like the most minute thing because they couldn't think of anything to do.
They had to put in like a leveling system, but it's like,
They didn't want to make it too good, so
well, it's not even that. It's like they have to put in a level thing, but the actual attributes of the perk don't really lend
That's what I mean,
itself
like-
to leveling.
the thing that they had to make level, they couldn't make that too good. So it's like we can't make it past 4 meters, otherwise it'd be ridiculous. You start seeing people
Well, yeah.
at long distance, so it's like
Yeah, so
2, 3,
incremental, yeah.
4, yeah.
No, I'm not taking Undying until I get it to level 2 at least. I need that extra meter.
I just wanted to throw that out. It's funny. Order.
Oh man, this thing. So
If a
Funny, funny, jokey.
like it gives you information randomly, and some people will just open a chest for no goddamn reason. But
That's
it's
I don't know
really
if-
random.
I don't know if F is too harsh, but
F is too harsh, definitely.
yeah, it's not garbage, but it is odd. it's one of those things where it's like, this information is not useless, but would you ever, like, purposely pick this?
Exactly, yeah.
That is the quintessential D tier.
It's stupid, yeah. It's information, but it's and they might never touch a chest.
This thing goes off the rails in terms of alphabetical order. What the hell?
Oh, well, you're looking for Ghosty Face now.
Yeah, he's right here.
Oh, the original version before they did the hotfix patch where it decreased the rarity of items in all the chests. So it was just a total fuck you to the item farmer.
But it also gives them more chests, which is like
Yeah.
not entirely a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you like using that to stop them, it's still like, here, have some. That's like 2 offerings.
It's so weird.
Okay,
I'm
so
all ears. I haven't actually used this yet because it's one I actually got recently.
It's good.
so
it's really
I'm
good.
going to have to say this is going to be my one where like I don't see what you guys see in this one. I think this is really
I
bad.
fucking love this. It's bad. It's really good. You get to see that aura mid chase.
I've heard good things about it too. Like, it's not like seen as a bad perk. It's like,
Yeah, it's perfect information mid chase. You can see that aura. Like that really screws them. Like if they double back, it doesn't matter what they do. You can see them perfectly. It's perfect for mind games.
like I can see it
Or
definitely being
counter-mind
like not liking it as much as other people, but I don't understand saying it's bad just because like rushed actions are a thing they're gonna do anyway. Like, you're gonna get use out of this.
Yeah,
I
you get it
guess
mid
you're
chase.
right, but at the same time, it triggers every 40. It has a 40-second cooldown that can kind of be wasted a lot.
Yeah, but it's
Like,
the 6 seconds is longer than it sounds when you're in a chase.
That's true. 6 seconds is pretty nice.
I'm not saying it's S, but it's I would say A or B. Maybe B. Maybe B.
Okay, definitely B. I can't see it putting it in an A.
Well, I run that with Pyramid Head.
Oh
like-
god.
Snipe people through walls. Like, it is stupid good. Like, they can't juke it. Like, they just think, oh, well, I'll just whip them out and then just whip right through a wall. Crazy good. It's definitely B. At least.
I'm almost willing to put it in A, but if we're this torn on it, then B is fine.
I mean, I'm tempted to say A, but I'll settle for B then. I mean, it's not like the best thing ever. I think B is actually quite accurate.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm not saying it's some sort of like magnificent like game-winning perk. I'm just saying it's very, very good. Depends on the kill as well, you know, how much they juke and things like that. Okay.
Infectious Fright.
Big screamy.
Big
This
screaming.
thing is really fucking good.
Maybe S. My BS.
Yeah.
This is
Second
one I'm
maybe, yeah.
not big on. It's
It lets you know just hard stop whether there is anyone near you or not whenever you knock someone down,
yeah.
which is very good information as far as what you're going to do.
I suppose that's
It's
also
like-
good information on everybody, like not even like
Yeah.
snowball killers. Like
Snowball killers make great use of this perk, but everyone likes to know like if there's people around them.
Yeah, like, are they, actually, oh, SK, I just realized, can you press change the background color to black? Or was that only just the little box there? Is that just the little box? I just wasted your time. Yeah, I have. Sorry.
oh Jesus.
Sorry.
It
Sorry, I
changed-
thought I might see the icons better on my end.
Oh
Never mind.
yeah. Oh, I wish. No,
Anyway, sorry. Sorry to distract from that.
it's all
What were you
good.
saying?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also you dance someone. It's like barbecue in that you know exactly like what to do next. Like if you even the small things like you don't have to worry about a pallet drop as you're picking them up because there's no one around. Like almost like knowing there's no one around is almost as good as knowing there is someone there.
Yeah. It's slightly weird to me because of I just think it's weird that the what is it? It says like reveals to you for 4/5/6 seconds. It's like the bubble thing.
Yeah.
Like, how long it displays it to you isn't really important. I guess it gives you more
Oh
time
no,
to look at it,
that's just them saying we need to apply a number
I
to
do,
this to
yeah.
make it a 3-tier thing.
I just always thought that was weird. I just want to point that out. It's
I've never even noticed. Really.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that bubble is longer. It's like, okay, cool.
I actually find the bubble more like disorienting than anything because it kind of obscures what you can see.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I don't like about it is like the screen bubble is not great information. It's also countered by calm spirit.
Oh no! Yeah, right, F tier.
Fucking Jesus. That's fine. I actually just need to run it more. I haven't tried it enough. I'd probably like it a little better if I actually ran it.
Oh, definitely use it. Yeah.
Insidious.
Insidious
God.
is a perk they made at the beginning of the game when they didn't really know how the game would turn out.
Ever change? It's changed a little bit. Yeah, they just
Just because I'm
sound a bit
detectable.
Came a
I
thing.
don't.
Like,
I can't.
there is
use it.
no reason. Like, there isn't. The only reason to run this perk is to be a fucking dick in the basement.
Yeah,
Yeah. It has no practical use.
or like camp
Like-
the fucking hatch or something. No, it's.
I
stupid.
can see where they were developing the game, they thought maybe this would work, but
It is one of the trademark
like
outdated.
this would be way more inexcusable if it wasn't a starter perk.
I don't know if it's F. Is it F?
It's F.
Yeah, because
There's better ways to hide your fucking terror radius. Yeah.
there's no reason to take this other than for aforementioned.
You can't even
the-
hide with it. You'd still have to like stand somewhere.
Yeah, again,
You
it's
can't even
basement.
like pretend to like hide behind something until they get close enough. It's like no, you gotta commit to standing. This is fucking stupid.
Yeah, like you don't use undetectable to stand in a place. Like killers never just like stand somewhere and hide. I don't think, unless
May have got more use when you had before you had true stealth killers like level 1 Myers and Ghostface and Pig, but it's just stupid.
yeah, it's whatever.
Iron
Grasp.
Grasp, another old simple perk.
Yeah.
It's sort of agitation, but different. It's more different agitation.
Is it just same tier? Let's just put them side by side. They're buddies.
Yeah.
I think agitation has more synergy with other things because of that terror radius thing, but it's
And also,
whatever.
moving faster is a little better, maybe, in general.
It's yeah.
But Iron Grasp
But-
like it still has that effect of just like getting you to hooks. More guaranteed. That's like
Yeah.
I'll get a slight edge to agitation, but it's still the same team, I guess.
yeah. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting it C, so
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's B. It's a lower B, but it's a B.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Just dump it in D.
Well,
maybe?
there's now 2 killers that can get some use out of it.
It's okay.
Would you say?
I would at least see.
You know what? Actually, yeah. I've used it before, and it's actually really funny because the amount of times people use lockers to counter barbecue and chili, and then they just give themselves away anyway. It's like really funny.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I've never tried it.
You run this, and people will start using lockers way more than you would ever expect.
That's
But-
true. Yeah.
At the same time, you can't always capitalize on it, but you do always get the information.
Yeah, it's information, and the exposed thing is like, you know, maybe once in a blue moon you'll get a down, but
Yeah.
I need to run it again because I want to see a situation where someone like dodges a strike, and then they just jump out the locker and get exposed, and it's like, oh, fucking oops. But yeah, no, that's fine.
I would be tempted to say D, but I haven't really used it, so.
It's honestly surprising how much use
It's
you get
enough,
out of it.
and then there is the reload speed thing that helps too.
Oh yeah, that's right. But you know, it is actually surprising. Like I've had that happen to me where I used it as a laugh or like because I was loving a killer, and it just like, oh, wow, there's a lot of screaming going on for no reason. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Knockout.
Knockout.
This is one they reworked alongside all the rest of Leatherman's perks, and it didn't get any more useful.
Nah, they just kind of made it feel harder with that weird
Yeah.
blindness and Yeah,
audio
whatever.
distortion. Yeah.
They almost made it. They just kind of made it like feel better rather than actually buffed it.
I guess it's supposed to be for slugging. It's kind of funny though. They've tried it in with the killer, where you're probably down them with the chainsaw. Yeah, it only takes effect with a basic attack, which I feel like is a pretty significant drawback.
I feel like they did that a couple
You
of
know?
times where there were perks that were like not good on the killer they were introduced on.
Yeah.
Even as late
I feel
recently
like-
as Starstruck, where they give it to a killer who has a relatively smaller tear radius. It's like, oops.
I could see myself like potentially taking knockout if it was any down, but the fact it's basic only, I'm just like that.
Yeah. Honestly.
Well, that's
Even then,
very
even then, it's not
dependent.
great. Yeah, because like my Bob is like all about slugging build. That would be great if it worked with a chainsaw. I mean, I think you got like add-ons that do the same thing, but that's really my point.
Yeah,
It's a little
and
slower.
to be fair, all it does for slugging is it just makes it to where the survivors can't find each other for 15 seconds. Assuming they didn't, like, see their friend go down.
Yeah.
It's too weird. I keep
Maybe
saying
not
that.
Achilles, was it? But yeah, D.
Yeah, it's... Actually, my other perks, too specific. Moving on to Lightborn.
Lightborn is one of those ones you take in response in the lobby, like Franklin's. And it is really funny if you do, but I wouldn't normally take it.
Yeah. It's
I think if you play the game enough, you're good enough to avoid being blinded most of the time. Don't get me wrong, like no one's perfect. Everyone gets blinded occasionally, especially if they're really good.
yeah.
But-
They find the weirdest angles. Sometimes
But-
they do find the weirdest angles.
They do.
But if you play the game enough, you know to just face a wall or face away from where you think they are.
It's very Bloodhound, but I think it's high C, low B.
I would say low C, high D. So we just say C then,
Yeah.
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 because it's. Oh,
It
I
gets
mean, I had a
lot
game
better
where
because it's counter pickable, and
I
it is
had a
sort of
game with-
training perk.
I had a game with 4 flashlights, so I threw that on at the last second, and it was fucking hilarious. It was so funny. I just wish I had, like,
It'll be like,
something
back,
like-
vampire, back!
It was fucking hilarious. Speaking of one perks that are hilarious,
This perk is stupid. It's funny.
I've praised it a lot. I don't think it's actually like for the record, I don't think it's actually like great or anything, but it is really funny against those survivors.
It is really
I've gotten a
funny.
lot
Is
of
it
use
C
out
or
of
is
it, but that's
B?
I think it's C. I would actually argue it's D because I would run out gimmick builds for laughs. I don't think I'd actually really use it.
I don't think it hurts to take though. I don't think
I
it's.
think it's something more like Bitter Murmur or.
I think it's a good
Iron Maiden, where
backup.
It's okay enough.
Honestly,
Or-
maybe I would see myself using it more nowadays because I see a lot more survivors nowadays who will like take a hit while you're carrying a survivor.
I think it's kind of based on the rank of the survivors. I think beginner survivors will just run off and hide. But then you get like the ones that is in between of actually knowing what they're doing and thinking they know what they're doing.
Right? Yeah.
They think, oh, if I block this, I'll be a hero, and I've won so many games because of that. But it's a very specific survivor. I've never like regretted having it in my builds, but it's worse. It's a worse save the best to last. If I want best to last, like that's better, but I've got news of it, but I understand it's not actually that good. It's just very
Yeah. The more I think about it,
context
the higher opinion I have of it. But just because of like more recently how I've seen survivors playing, I probably actually would use it. But it is.
And the fact that Star Trek exists now definitely hurts it.
I'll settle it with it being C. I don't think it's useless, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's as bad as D. But I don't think it's
Yeah.
actually that good.
I
But
think
I've
it's
gotten
in a good
too
position
much.
right now.
It's giving me too many laughs.
Well, I guess actually in defense of Mad Grit versus Starstruck will make them run away. Mad Grit will like allow you to get hits and then not be punished for it.
Because Starstruck, you know, if you're exposed.
Yeah.
Mad Grit, you don't. Until
Yeah. I actually
So it
almost
even
am
is.
willing to put it in B, but I think C it's right there.
Yeah.
I think C is fine.
I've got many a video of me using that bit.
It is really funny though. I'll give you that.
Oh god, yeah.
Make your choice.
I think it's a solid A, because you need to be a kind of killer who can get around the map fast, but there are enough of those.
Yeah,
And
that's
when
true.
you do,
I would say
the rescuer gets exposed. Like all those like anti tunneling perks that you normally have to worry about. You can just go for the rescuer instead, and you get pretty much the same result. But you don't have to deal with any of that bullshit.
I would love. I don't know how likely this is to ever happen, like at all, but I would love if Make Your Choice and Babysitter happened at the same time. It's like, come get me, here I am. Oh shit, I'm exposed. Oh fuck. Whoops. Mostly because I don't think anyone runs Babysitter, but man.
And it would be Steve too, so it would be that extreme.
Ah! Jesus.
yeah, A's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
And the great thing is it does have a cooldown, but the cooldown is the length of the exposed status effect, so
That's true,
it's
yeah.
a lot more forgivable of a cooldown.
I find out I quite like that with Devour Hope, because it's like you've got double the reason to just leave the hook.
Yeah?
Oh god.
Mindbreaker. I feel like there was a good idea here.
The idea was, haha, eat that sprint burst.
Because, well, the nice thing about it is that the exhausted, I assume, still doesn't take down while they're running?
Yeah, it still doesn't tick down while they're running.
So, like, if you actually manage to chase someone off a generator, they don't get that? I imagine they wouldn't get it throughout the entire chase, but I guess, honestly, the 5-second thing, if they really tried, they probably still could, find time to cool that
5
down.
fucking seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if, they're around a pallet, sometimes you have to kind of wait a little bit, to...
I get their thought process, but I still feel like...
It's T.
Well, if you were
F-
talking
F-
about their
F-
thought
F.
process, this is their, change version. That,
I think it's F. I don't know. I think it's F.
yeah, their old version, where it was like, haha, if they repaired it to 50% progression, the effect just went away.
Right, God, yeah. Again, they kept thinking it's, better than it actually was.
God, yeah, I do think it's F.
I don't
I
know if
think
it's
it's
F,
F.
just because,
I've had the worst case scenario facing Mindbreaker. I had Sprint Burst. It doesn't do shit. Like you just wait for 5 seconds. You just go off the gen slightly sooner. It's crap. It's absolute crap.
I think that first-hand experience definitely sways me.
I had Sprint Burst. I was wanting that build. The when you stay on the gen and then when they just about to get you, you run off. All that did was I realized I had it because it tells you, and then it just made sure that I was just a little more cautious when I started to hear a terror radius. So I just backed off a little more, and then 5 seconds later, I just run again. And it's not even like that big of a benefit. It's just, I mean, they have to have sprint burst. Like, there's not even anything else that really, I'm not really going to be dead harding like that quickly within getting off a gen. Unless it's like that, they're sticking on to the last possible second and dead hard off it. No, it's way too specific.
It's specific, but at the very least, if you keep a chase up, they can't get it back. Of course, yeah, I guess they could.
But within 5 seconds, I can get off the gen before they get to me, or at least really start a chase.
I think it would be a different.
It was 60 seconds.
Yeah, it would be a different story if it was not 5 seconds. If it was 30, the very fucking least.
5. I mean, at level 1, it's 3. For God's sake.
Yeah.
It used to be 1, 2, 3.
Oh Lord.
No, it's F. I'm sorry. I dealt with it in the worst scenario, and it's so bad. And the benefit's not even that much. compare it to like the other perks. Like, what is it even doing?
I feel bad, but because I get the idea and I feel like it's a good idea, they just needed to actually give it good numbers.
Yeah.
It's lacking the one thing it needs, which is to actually work. Yeah.
Monitor and right. A question: is it monitor and abuse or abuse?
Monitor and abuse, I'm pretty sure.
Abuse. Okay.
I think it's abuse, yeah.
Oh, I guess
Because
no, yeah.
abuse is a verb, yeah.
Yeah.
would be,
Monitor
You're
and then
monitoring them
abuse.
and abusing them.
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
true. No, you're right. Yeah, it would be.
I've heard it said both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're both verbs.
It makes sense. Yeah, I know you're right.
So let's actually talk about the perk here.
No, that's all I wanted to discuss.
I think it's B, because just having a smaller terror radius is pretty good.
Especially on a killer that already has a small one, because then it makes
Yeah.
him pretty hard to see or hear coming like all the time. I don't know
And
why.
then it has great synergy with the doctor if you, but you have to be careful with it. Like you have to be using your control in a chase, but it does have synergy.
And the FOV thing lets you feel like you're playing a normal FPS. No, I mean like it's a perk to take if you're like a PC elitist.
Well, no. We'll get to that one later.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Any
I,
FOV thing.
I do think it is funny that terrorist gets bigger, but I guess the doctor does make use of that.
I gotta say, we've got on the FOV thing. I did see someone like somewhere, I forget where, but just complaining like, why isn't there an FOV slider in the game? It's like one game that would fucking break the game.
Yeah.
Like god damn it! Like that's like one time it's actually justified being logged. It's a stealth game, you know, and a multiplayer stealth game where like any degree you can see more is gonna make a hell of a lot of difference.
Good lord, monstrous shrine.
Oh god.
This isn't even the only perk that's like this.
It's what we should just make like just a thing of like we should make a different tier list just for these like really old ones. You know, they're just on this. They're in their own little world that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh my god, Monstrous Shrine.
It's not literally.
It is almost able to be argued into D.
Almost.
Not quite.
But it's literal, because those second two, fucking who cares? It's literally only useful in that it makes basement hooks have 9% faster progression.
You have to camp for slightly less time.
It makes the survivors act slightly faster if in this situation that you get somebody in the basement, which is already pretty advantageous. You know,
Yeah.
like...
Well, yeah, it's
Again, you take this perk and you make it, like, global to all hooks. I still don't think you would use it.
I agree that it's like it is borderline D because it's something, but no, it's F.
There's
to
no...
even get them down there. I mean, if you get them in the basement anyway, that's enough of a benefit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no build. Like, there is
I
a
think
build
monstrous.
for this,
I think monstrous shrine is like the perk people use an example like to make fun of bad perks. I think people go, oh yeah, monstrous shrine is busted, needs a nerf behavior. Like that's its status. It's the how bad is this meme perk?
Man, it's got nothing on furtive chase, though. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I
think it's a
still
little
think
worse.
the tier is a beast of prey. I think that is the cream.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah.
still think there's one worse than that, but we'll get to it. I think there's one worse than all of these. But anyway,
We will see. Nemesis. Nemesis.
I tried to go for the Nemesis challenge and I realized I don't actually have it.
So there is exactly one use for this, and that is when you're running a play with your food build, you use this so that you can get a new obsession when your previous obsession dies.
But apparently, play with your fruit is actually kind of worth doing that, at least in a, you know, sort of gimmicky but sort of okay build.
I think that's too specific. It is.
Well, yeah, the effect isn't like F tier bad either.
No,
I just
but
realized it's like it includes a little blurb. Stuns you with a locker. So for that,
Oh
head on.
yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
worked. If you get fucking lockers, head
thi-
on.
I think it's
I
written.
think I've seen that
differently.
happen.
I think it's written differently in the game where it just says like if you get stunned. I could be wrong.
Well, this usually lives it quite directly.
Oh no, it actually does. Wow. Okay. Jesus Christ, head on.
Oh man, I've got a video to show you guys.
But yeah, this is. I put it in. Maybe we could justify putting it in C as part of just like really gimmicky, but
I'd say D. I can't
Probably
really picture
D.
myself.
Personally, yeah, this is a personal thing, and I just say like, fuck Nemesis. Like, it's. Yeah.
And then you got the problem is, you know, when they do a Resident Evil chapter, it's going to be really confusing.
The Oni got like the short end of the stick though. Holy shit.
Probably.
oh my
countering so
god, those are some perks, yeah.
The Oni was just. What
I
happened
clicked
there?
on his name to see what it spoke to. I thought it said Karen. Yeah, no, you're getting him for the killer. You're not his bugs.
Him and the Demogorgon. Just.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Deathslinger wasn't much better, but he did Retribution, so.
No Way Out.
No way out.
I heard a lot of buzz with this when it first came out, and then nothing.
I
I
can't.
can't say
Yeah.
I've seen it used. Oh no, I have seen it used. I'm lying. They didn't really do a whole lot.
This is the Dragon's Grip.
Yeah. I got use out of it, but it's situational.
Is yeah. C or D?
I mean, for the potential of 42, but then you got to get it to. You got to be doing pretty damn well for it to be a full 42 seconds anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah, the end game ones are kind of funny because like, you got to get there. You got to kind of lose all the gens to get any use out of it, but then it might be helpful. It's weird. I mean, I'd see, I guess.
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 seconds is quite long.
Low C, but it's still a C. It's. I've gotten.
I mean, also bear in mind that it just blocks it immediately. Like that's not taken into effect. It doesn't block it as soon as they find the switch. Like it's blocking it before they even get to the switch.
That is a problem. Yeah. That's actually.
So by the time they get to it, it's more like it's definitely not. You read it on paper, it's like 42 seconds is a long time, but yeah, but they actually got to get there first of all.
Technically 52 seconds.
I'm tempted to say D. I don't know.
It is 52 seconds to be clear. 10 seconds
Oh yeah,
plus
yeah. Oh yeah,
additional
with the
42.
yeah. Sorry, I must mean that literally. It just when it says
Yeah.
maximum, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm tempted to say D, but I'm not offended by C either.
I say low C. It's
Okay.
it's still something.
All right.
Oppression. What? I actually don't know what people feel about this one.
I only just got it yesterday, funnily enough.
So oppression is kind of a weird one. So
Every 80 seconds, when you kick a generator, 3 random generators also start progressing. Or 3 other ones. I actually thought it was 2 other ones. 3 other ones. Anyone who's working on one of those generators will get a difficult skill check.
now,
Which is
so
information
something I want to
data.
talk about that is like people usually like laugh at the difficult skill check because like that's like the decisive strike that everyone knows how to hit. But it's
Yeah, but
actually
DS,
a
you know,
lot
coming.
tougher in a yeah. That's what I'm going to say. It's a lot tougher. This is the only time where you don't really know when it's coming.
Yeah, like the next perk, you have a good like there's a chance like you'll like especially if you already know he's running it, or whoever the killer is running it, then you're gonna know that it's coming. But yeah,
Like- even once it already like goes, like you can't just be on guard forever for a random kick halfway across the map, giving you a hell of
Oh yeah, it definitely catches people, and then that explosion is information. But there's also the fact that it also just sets them progressing, so providing that they're not
Yeah.
committing to one at a time.
But at the
It
same
doesn't hurt, it's pretty
time,
good.
there's a lot of generators. There often isn't that many generators that are at high, like that are at high generation at once that are worth like
Yeah, regressing. I mean, I think it's one of
down.
those ones that it doesn't hurt to have. I think it definitely comes more into its own if you combine it with. I would take it with something where I'm going to kick gens anyway, which is
Yeah.
what we'll come to in the next book. If I've got pop on, I think oppression really doesn't hurt at all. I think that's quite a nice
I think
synergy
it's
there.
C.
Yesterday I was playing twins, and I was running oppression with surveillance.
I was gonna say, yeah.
In my video, I didn't really use it very well, as you may have seen, but that's a good synergy there if I actually used it properly for information. But that's with another perk, so that's
I would say it is.
I would say it's B or
potential-
C. I don't think it hurts.
I would say it's potentially very useful, but also potentially not very useful. So
I would say B. I think random the explosion and random regression. I don't think it hurts. I think it's B or C.
I'm kind of pushing towards B because I do like this perk a lot. But
I
You
guess.
probably will be kicking anyway.
I
And
say
then
low,
you use that with pop anyway.
low
It's
B.
just an extra.
Like I can definitely see all the downsides to it, but I do think it's fine.
It's not very good if they're like hammering out gens like one at a time together with Blade Prove Thyself and toolboxes and shit. But
Again, yeah, it all depends on just you don't know what kind of habits your survivors are going to have, so you're never going to be able to bring like the perfect gen perk aside from I guess ruin maybe, but
I would bring it with surveillance or some other kicking perk.
yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's it's
Overcharge.
overcharge.
I've run this a lot, but not because I think it's good. It's just kind of
It has synergy with the doctor, and that's literally it.
Overcharge will work on every survivor exactly once.
Well,
yeah. I've run it on things where I'm going to be kicking gens, but sometimes I put it in if I just don't have pop on that character. But
It's just,
not
but the
very
problem
good.
is, it's not a whole lot of regression,
No, it really
and
isn't.
you have to go out of your way to fuck.
It is all in its defense. It is also information as well if they fail it.
yeah, I think I will say I think Yoshi, you're overestimating how good people are. Like like red ranks and shit. Of course, they'll never get fooled by it, but like some people just struggle with it anyway because it is a really tiny thing. But it is also random. Like there are people who are good at it, people are bad at it, and you do have to kick the gen, and then you get that once. So
I would
yeah.
say
C.
maybe C.
C. Yeah.
That's quite generous, but C.
It's, yeah. It is funny how much the Doctor's perk synergize specifically with him. Like, mostly Overcharge.
Compared to some of these other kills like
Yeah.
fucking Bubba.
Yeah. Where, like, and then Monitor Abuse has that, like, radius increase thing that, like, I think is only useful for him. I don't know if anyone else gets any benefit from that.
Well, you get with other perks maybe, but yeah.
Well,
It's
I don't know.
power, yeah.
It's odd.
I think yeah, like Overcharge it had decent ranks. It's not very good. It's funny how I don't think much of it, but I seem to take it every other game. I think it's just because I unlocked his perks early, so they just come up a lot.
It's better against bad survivors, for sure.
Definitely.
If
yeah.
you're a lower level, then you'll get more use out of it, but higher level. The higher you go, the worse it gets.
I mean, as a survivor, like I've improved massively, like playing it more, and I have no problem with skill checks these days. Whereas previously, yeah, that would have. In fact, I think there was a time, like the first time we played the game before we took the break from it, and I just fucking hated skill checks. I hated the Doctor. Like I just hated anything that affected skill checks. But then nowadays, I'm hitting like more greats than goods. So.
Well, I mean, I will say though, the Overcharge one is really tiny at max level.
Oh yeah.
I think. Did they change the? Well, whatever. Either way, yeah, it's It's difficult.
I'm happy with it in C. I think
Yeah.
it's
Speaking of Dr. Perks, here's one that I don't see anyone using because it's bad. Is it F tier bad?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It might randomly screw over someone using a toolbox if you have a...
Might deprive them of like that heal, but
The best thing you can
Dude, that's
do
too
is like they will end up having less heals out of their med kit that they brought because you brushed up against their terror radius while they were healing. But
also if they're in the terror
worst
radius,
thing ever.
if you're in the terror radius, like I'm not gonna heal.
Well, I mean,
like, within reason, but typically, like I'm not gonna. I'm less likely to heal with a medkit if I'm in their terror radius.
I almost feel bad putting in F just because it, unlike some of these
Is it
perks,
not?
it does something. Just because there's enough items
I
in
know
the
what you
game
mean.
that, like, if
Is
you,
it not like? Can you? Does it not have a use like flashlights? Like they'll drain the flashlight stupidly fast, like they try and use it on you.
it does double it, yeah. It's just,
It doubles quite a lot.
but it does also still allow them to use it. Just,
I'd rather if I'm afraid of items, though, I'm gonna take Franklin's.
yeah. I think D just because there's so many F
Just
ones
say
that are,
D because it's not.
it's not as bad as any of
Please.
these, but it is pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, no. Play with your food.
This is something I've never really used, but I've seen people who are good use it. Not as like a primary build.
It is tough, but
Myers was like the first character I got to 50, and that wasn't for his perks. That's just because I just wasn't really thinking about teachables at the time. I never really used this.
The thing is, like, if you really use it and like use it, like you have to like be in a different mindset to use it. But you get to go faster. That is huge.
I never noticed the spider's going for a little fly though. I never saw the fly before.
yeah, it's playing with its food. It's that speed will end chases. You know?
Yeah, especially now, like what I hear a common complaint now is that holding W is too powerful in the current meta. Just running forward.
Yeah.
I know.
But it does
better,
require a lot of setup.
Yeah.
I know
and
better.
This
better
is
kills
why
than me, but yes.
Yeah.
I think like one thing is like people will actually try to run Nemesis because of this. That says a lot about how good this could be.
Yeah. It's
I
true.
think it could be. There's a lot of things that hold it back from being the topper tiers, but it's a very powerful effect.
'Cause-
If you can work around it, yeah.
yeah, it's weird.
And
I've
the way
used
the chase system works, it's pretty easy to let them escape without actually letting them escape.
Yeah, like they got
yeah.
away, but they're right there.
You got the music cue as well, so there's not really any ambiguity whether or not it counted.
Yeah.
Also, it's a token, so you can see on the perk that you got a token.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's. But other way, it's. Yeah.
Right, pop.
Speaking of good perks,
Yes.
Yeah, so generator, like this is one of the two perks, with the other being ruined, that lets you slow down generators, which is really fucking important because
Yeah.
generators are damn fast.
I mean, there are other perks. They're just not any good.
Yeah, they're the two. They're
Yeah,
two
the
ones.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is definitely better on people who can't like put enough pressure to like keep ruin healy going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it activates every time you do something that you're gonna pretty much always be doing. So.
Yeah.
And if you can use it effectively, like it will save games. It will absolutely save games. Like it will stop that last gen. Like say if they've got like a
It
bad
lets you
team gen-
actually battle for a gen.
Yeah, like regression's like one thing, but like the pop is like significant. Like if you've got a bad 3-gen and they're just looping and you're just getting continuous hooks just as you whittle them down, like that the pop will keep you in the game. It will stop them from getting that last
You
gen.
can actually fight for a gen.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's more active than any other kind of aggression perk.
I want to give another shout out to heavily themed perks. The clown was pretty big on that, where like the theme like kind of goes against the using it on another killer. It just makes it kind of funny. Like, you know, colorophobia. It's like, oh yeah, you know, Ghostface makes you afraid of clowns. I don't know. I just like that. I just think that's funny. Pop goes
That's
the
the
weasel.
name of my new band.
Oh man.
I never really thought of it that literally. The name's that literally like that's what they're doing, but yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's like being afraid of clowns
gotta
makes you
heal.
heal slower.
What if the killer's a clown? No,
It's-
it's a Leatherface. Oh, that's fine. You'll
I
find
I don't think any of them are is on the nose as Franklin's demise. It's like
Right, we'll have to do another tier list. How appropriate is the name?
no, I just
The trickster F tier.
I just think that's funny. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, I got you.
Ah,
We have come
Wow.
to what I humbly believe is the literal worst perk in Dead by Daylight.
that's right. Yeah, I forgot about this.
Predator. It is the worst perk because it is as
It's the
awful
killer
as
version
any
of
of
No
these perks.
Mither.
Yeah, it is the only perk you can take that it actively makes you worse.
Scratch.
It is literally makes you worse. It is. I mean, even No Mither though, you can like couple with things like that may enhance you while injured. And you may be like, oh, well, this is going to be my special. Even though Mither has infinite like getting up again, Predator.
I
Fuck Predator.
I get the thought process, but it's just sort of weird how that idea became bad.
I get, yeah. The concept is that they're easier to follow with your eyes, but because they're spread less, they're also harder to notice. So if you're running against like the border of the map with a big wall, like with Predator, I think the scratch marks don't appear on that wall, which is where you'd see them from a distance.
Yeah.
They don't even last longer. Like just throw that in there. Scratch marks last longer. Like that would be a little, just that little bit. Just no,
Yeah,
not even
yeah.
there. It is the worst perk in Dead by Daylight. You are actively worse running that than anything else. Like Photo Chase, like all these other ones we made fun of.
Yeah.
Are better than that.
Yeah.
There is actually something worse than furtive chase. That's insane. Furtive chase is, oh my god, I'm still not over that one because it's so damn
But
random.
it does something. It doesn't make you worse.
The only thing that Predator is good at is at least being a decent concept. So conceptually, it's
Just change it. Just make scratch marks last longer. There you go. I fixed it.
I could have sworn it did something different before, but maybe.
Let's have a look. Let's have a check.
Wait. Your cue tracking is like footstep marks stay visible 1/2/3 seconds longer than normal. It used to be better. It used to do that.
God, I didn't know that.
I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember that actually did increase the time of the scratch marks. Oh, this says footstep marks, but I assume that just means scratch marks.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because that's 2.1
At 1.1, like the release of the
is
game.
when they changed that. That's pretty damn early.
There's also that period when they were absolutely terrified of giving anything actual numbers, so it's just like, yeah.
What
No.
what was released around that time? Like what killer?
What do you mean, like 1.1 or when they did the
2.10.
2.10, yeah. What was
You can literally click on it. So
oh, can you? Shit.
Let's see. Da. Well, yeah, but it takes me to 2.10, which doesn't tell me what killers were around there.
What I
well,
need
Myers was out.
what I need to know is when the pig was released, because that's when I stopped playing. It was between the pig and the clown is when I stopped playing.
Pig was out during this time.
So, no, wait, the patch notes. Hold on a second. 2.0 seems really early though.
God, yeah. That. Can you give me a date on 2.1.0?
2.1.0 was 24th of July 2018.
That was a few months after the pig was released. So yeah,
Right.
that was actually in the game when we were playing. Which is that I guess that really wasn't important information, but yeah, no. That was actually the way that thing was when we were still playing.
Please. Right, let's.
So
So we've gotten past the literal worst of the worst.
I honestly kind of floored by that. I'm sorry, just that it literally did do what you think it should do.
Yeah, I was making that as a joke, and then I was like, oh.
It actually
Maybe I
did
like
that.
subconsciously remember that because I did play it then, so.
Yeah, it's lit because it was the opposite of lightweight.
Yeah,
Oh,
the counter
God.
to it, yeah.
Rancor.
Rancor.
So
Hmm.
this is like a better take on the NOED concept because it actually helps you during the game.
Mm.
It's like Bitter Murmur, but a little weaker. Oh no, it's a little stronger. It's because it lets you see all the survivors, although the obsession does get to see you.
Maybe slightly weaker, but having this obsession see you was like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say yeah.
And
It's-
then also, you can actually make use of Rancor at the end just to like fuck that guy in particular.
yeah, it's a NOED, but in a way that allows you to not feel awful for using it because it gives you some other benefit, and it
During
gives,
the game,
yeah, and it gives you just slightly different Bitter Murmur, maybe slightly worse, but only slightly.
Yeah.
I would say C. That would just maybe same,
Yeah.
maybe yeah,
See, yeah, sure.
same ranking as Bitter Murmur. Although I would still say it's better than Bitter Murmur, but that's just me, mostly because I don't like that perk.
Remember me.
Remember me. So yeah.
Ironically, I can't remember.
Speaking of people-themed perks, all of the Nightmares perks, like all Freddy's perks, for some reason were about being I'm late game. I'm late game.
Yeah. Also, Freddy. Speaking of killers who got the short end of the stick in terms of good perks,
Well, yeah, because they made him I'm late game.
yeah, they didn't even give him.
When did they add the end game thing? The actual end game, I mean. That was in between. That was during our break.
Yeah, it was somewhere in there. Either way, Nightmares.
Because oh god, I could regale us with the story of the dumb hatch standoffs.
Oh god,
Oh,
yeah.
the worst thing.
You used to be able to do the grab interrupts on hatches. So
That sounds great, right? Except what happened is it created a situation where if you were both next to a hatch, like if the survivor pressed the button first, you could interrupt. You could press your button to grab them, and they couldn't like back out of it, like
Oh yeah.
with a thing. Well, if you press the button first, you'll swing, you'll miss, you'll hit them, but then they'll just fall down and go in the hatch while you're busy
I
recovering.
forgot about that.
So, and if either of you tries to leave, the other will win. So, the literal best move is to not do anything. But some say that till this day, there is a server still running where there are two people who refuse to lose, standing in front of a hatch.
God, probably. It's no
I
time
was
limit. so-
part of that.
yeah,
Oh my god.
because there wasn't like a timer, right?
No
No.
timer at all.
Yeah. So literally nothing. Yeah, there
Couldn't
was.
close the hatch.
Funny how long it took them to add like an end game timer, considering like the entire premise of the game is kind of a fight against time.
Oh, that's right. You couldn't even close it. I forgot about that. That
No,
was
no,
new.
no.
I actually forgot. That was an addition. Jesus Christ. don't know
Yeah,
really-
like if there was only one survivor left, they probably were getting out because you had to defend 3 locations.
God, yeah. And there was no timer to get them to leave. So, like, even if you, like, you know, down somebody, they had all the time in the world to do something about it. It's a mess. So remember me.
Yes.
Freddy TM's coming. Each time you hit your obsession with a base attack, it gets a token. The opening gates, the time to open the gates is increased by 4 seconds per token, up to a maximum of 16 seconds. Except for the obsession.
I'll say this: at least it doesn't go away when the obsession dies.
Oh, yeah. That is true.
I
would say
like how
that's
I
good.
have to make that, like, you actually have to realize that. Like, you expect it to go away when the obsession dies because this game is stupid.
Yeah. The perk
I would
design
say
is all
that's
over the place.
D. It's not.
Yeah, it's D. It does something at least.
It's not F. But it's.
16 seconds to additional seconds to open the exit gate hurts.
I still want to try that end game though.
Even like 4 or 8 seconds, yeah.
That with the tricksters one.
Yeah, no way out and remember me, so it's like they can't activate it for a minute, and when they do, it takes like another minute to open it. And then they find the hatch and leave.
Yeah. Save
Save
the best for last.
the best for last.
S.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, you got to play around it, but like the benefits are just too great.
I love this one. Actually, it saved me a game. There was somebody who was gonna get away, but who had like full health. But because I was able to hit them and then get back to chasing them so quickly, I was able to down them and take it the 4 kill.
It's also for those silly mad grit plays, like that's it counters that as well. And it's just better overall.
Yeah,
It's just the faster cooldown's stupidly good.
I would say
It's never a bad thing.
maybe I'm wrong in this, but this perk to me feels like the one perk that is the absolute biggest. That is absolute worst whenever it's level 1. Like losing losing half your tokens if you max them out for hitting that obsession is Jesus Christ. It feels terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difference between 4 and 2 tokens is substantial,
Yeah.
and you will have to hit them eventually. Well, unless you're playing somebody, and I mean it's good in general, really good. And then if there's a bunch of killers with good M2s who are just they don't even need to worry about
Mhm.
like being forced to hit the obsession at any point, like or avoid hitting the obsession. They just like they can chainsaw or they can Demogorgon's
Charge attack.
you know,
Yeah.
charge attack.
I love
yeah.
with Pyramid Head for the line attack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Demo probably benefits the most of it because his is pretty easy to
Yeah.
land instead of an
But he
M1.
also M1's enough too.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but
It's not like, yeah.
it's just the fact that you have the ability to get past that downside.
Well, I mean,
Just
yeah,
like-
it's just that some of those, it's like you just like don't M1 enough to like actually make use of save the best for last.
Well, true, but
Even
I mean,
if you're playing a killer that only has an M1, it's still really good.
yeah.
But then those ones, and things like the Trapper who can pick up rather than hit them when they're in the trap, like that's good as well.
Oh right, yeah.
Or you can hit them and just get that stack.
Oh yeah, farming stacks for that is fun, depending on what's going on. Shadowborn. What?
It's the FOV one, or the other FOV one rather.
Yeah, it's you just get 15% more FOV. I like that they don't stack. Just in case you wanted to run Shadowborn with Monitor and Abuse, they don't stack. Sorry.
Shadowborn's
Shadowboard is just,
Fine.
how do you even evaluate that? What the fuck?
some people swear by it, but
I
some people
wouldn't.
really like it. I don't.
I wouldn't touch it. It's
There is one specific use that I hear a lot, but I'm not sure it's like super necessary, is that
the nurse.
it helps when the nurse, is in her fatigue. Because your vision is very obscured, but the FOV really helps.
I'm just gonna throw in C tier.
I would say C, yeah, because I don't think it hurts. I think if you need it, you need it. I've heard it. There's actually biggest problem with it is that if you use it early on, you get used to it, and then when you have to like use other perks, you're like, shit, no, I want Shadowborn back. I think sloppy is A.
Yeah, A.
Yeah. Hey.
Not like it's not. I think its overall usefulness is extremely high, but it's not like game changing enough to make it quite S. But damn, it's like I've never thought of reason like, oh, this is bad here. It's like no, unless you're playing like someone like Chainsaw Guy or
Yeah, if you M2 a lot, but even
Sloppy
still.
just slows the game down, and that's what the whole point of the game is, to slow it down.
Yeah, that's like the biggest killer tool is slowing the game down. So that's
Bleeding as well is good for tracking.
yeah.
Yep, so there's not really much to say. It's really very simple. But
It is. Yeah, it is one of the simplest skills and one of the easiest ones to recommend. So yeah.
because that damn icon. I know it's basic. I know that, but yeah,
Spies from the shadows.
it's great if you're running an animal themed build. I don't know about this one.
It's not bad, but it's not
okay.
good. It's okay.
Yeah.
It gives you weird random information, but
I kind of feel like taking it just to see, but one day just to see. Is it any?
it's
I would say C.
It's better than what it used to be, 75% chance that it would work.
that was silly.
Literal randomness. Jesus Christ. I like there's a time when the thing just said 100% of the time just to rectify before, and then they just took the word out. They're just like, no, it will do that.
Y'all
Well, then
get it,
100%
yeah.
of the time. I mean, imagine if they applied that same logic to like every other perk. 100% of the time, your field of view will be increased by 15%.
Spirit Fury.
This one used to be run a decent amount, but it's just been shifted out of the meta. Enduring stock has gone down, and this you have to run it with Enduring.
You have to run it
But
with
like there isn't like 2 slots. Is dedicating 2 slots to being able to like just no sell pallets instead of just one is a harder sell.
Well, and
I've done this, and when it happens, it is great. Like they will be down because they'll just throw it down, and you barely like stun at all, and then you end the chase. Like, it always ends the chase, but you have to use. It has to have enduring. And I don't know if the effect's worth 2 perk slots. Honestly.
yeah, because when you use it by itself, it's important to remember it doesn't stop you being stunned. It just
No.
breaks the pallet, which is
They
like
should get rid of the stun. It would be way better if it just.
that'd be hilarious, Jesus. But yeah, no, I feel like maybe it's just me, but it just seems like people stopped getting stunned by pallets that much.
It just kind of stopped happening, yeah.
It just
Yeah.
the killers were
Or
just like
people just realized that the killers that really had problems getting stunned are just kind of bad.
yeah.
I guess D then.
Yeah. That'll...
It's got its uses. D feels a little mean, but it's you gotta put. Well, I suppose 2 pellets isn't that much, but still, you gotta run it with another perk to really get any use out of it.
That's another perk where having it in a low level makes it significantly worse, because, Jesus. 4 pallets on the 5th one. Wow.
So Spirit Fury is good if you want to like just get rid of every goddamn pallet in the game, and then they've got nothing left.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
But pallets are also kind of weird in that sense that it's hard to measure them because you have to force survivors to use them.
Yeah, it depends on who you're chasing. Anyway, yeah, I'd say D.
So,
Maybe back in the day it was B, but it's D.
one of our new ones, Starstruck. I think we've seen on this both of the other ones. I guess
This
I've
one
run it.
might even be S.
Ooh, I was gonna say I haven't got much use out of it personally.
it's
Every
just
time I run it, I've
ooh.
never got anything happening with it.
Well, the thing is, it makes people just fuck off.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it isn't about getting a downed hit while exposed with this one. It's more so about getting people to stop being so aggressive while you're carrying somebody, which it works for like flashlight saves and stuff like that. Like it just scares people off.
And it also kind of hits or like if people were trying to be around for the save, they can often like accidentally end up in it, and then they're exposed for 30 seconds, so they can't do the save for 30 seconds unless they really want to risk it.
Yeah, because
It actually makes saves quite a bit
Maybe I've
harder.
just had bad luck with it. I just can't really make anything happen with it personally. I just feel like they're too scared off to use the exposed.
well, that's good though, because you want them to be scared off. Like that's kind
I
of the
don't know.
point. Like if you value it
I mean, I'm not
entirely,
that.
if you
What
value
you
it
mean, like
entirely,
just so they don't
yeah.
interfere with the hook? I
Yeah,
mean,
if you value it entirely on getting one hit downs off the expose effect, then you're probably not going to like it very much. But it's more than that. It's more important. Like when they see that expose pop up, they get scared. They suddenly realize they have to be a lot more careful and/or just not do what they want to do.
I guess, but that what they want to do is just interfering with the hooking process. I
No,
don't
but
think
it
that's
also
crazy. I don't think it's that good.
no, but it's also like if they were lingering around to save, get the save.
Yeah, it's like the whole like borrow time thing where they're just going to rest you in your face, and if they take one hit,
I
they're
think
not
it's
going
Or
to.
alright, but
even not so much in your face, just like,
Yeah.
wait till you're to leave and
Because if they make that rescue, then they're putting themselves at risk if you decide to turn around. So they'll be a lot more scared to actually do it.
I just feel like I prefer my pokes to just do more than just scare them off. You know.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I
I'm-
don't. I'm just saying right now I don't think it's ass. Like absolutely not. Not
I-
compared to those other ones.
I just think you're underestimating how useful that can be. Just because like you have to consider that slows things down. People who would have made rescues earlier now
But
do
they
it
can still
later.
just hop on a gen though. Like it's not like stopping them in their tracks.
Yeah, but they were there.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, if you want to put an A, that's fair enough. But S, no, it's not barbecue. It's not.
To be honest,
Save the best for
I was
last.
thinking about A anyway. I'm not sure about S.
Yeah, I was just knee jerking to S. I don't think it's S, but I like it. I just don't think S. That's what I was arguing. I
I
wasn't
think
saying bad.
it's a high A though. It's incredibly powerful.
Hmm.
But
That's fine. Maybe I've just been unlucky with it.
I mean, yeah, that can happen. But I do think that they're pretty valuable.
I suppose it scared me off. I mean, I was like, oh, I'm not screwing with that. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Being exposed, like I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah,
no
yeah,
ed, you know. As soon as you see exposure, you're like, fuck it.
I'm still waiting to get that with agitation. Then I'm really put it those spaces. I just need that one character to get both. Strider. Strider, hear you.
Strider is good on spirit, kind of.
yeah,
I think it's one of those ones that's just generally very good.
nah.
I would say it's B.
I
will.
I think that is massively overstating its use.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're the spirit and you literally cannot see them and you have to hear them instead, then you get used from it. But
I've said this before. It's so useful in spirit. I keep thinking it's just a goddamn spirit perk. I really do.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
continually. I'm like, oh, nurse. Okay.
yeah, it is a
Weird.
pick for the nurse.
It
But
also count as Iron Will.
well, her like whole gimmick in her backstory and with her add-ons is like she just suffocated the fuck out of everyone.
can I correct you? I'm sorry. It counters Iron Will.
Yeah.
Iron Will
So
counters Strider, doesn't it?
Iron Will makes
Wait.
your grunts lower. Strider makes them bigger, so it makes them.
Forget.
So
You'll make them 50%.
so if both are at max rank, Yeah, it would make it 50 volume.
Yeah.
So it okay.
They like I'm looking at this and there's an entire thing for it. They stack additively.
I suppose that, yeah, I guess that does make sense.
Yeah, so it's not like
Yeah.
times 0%.
Because it says they
yeah.
stack additively rather than percentagely. So
Yeah, okay, alright, that's fair.
that's just how they're coded.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I will very often hear someone before I see them. I think Strider's. I actually really. I only went out Spirit, but I really should put it on more killers. Honestly, I think it's very good. It might even be A.
I really don't want to put it high as A.
No.
B then. B. That's fine. I was overthinking it. B then.
I still think that's being generous. I don't think this perk is
B?
good at all.
What?
It's okay.
It's too specific. Like it's just. Like just bring whispers. I don't know.
Most of the time, their grunts of pain are loud enough, and their regular breathing.
Well, I see. When I think about it more,
Yeah.
I think it's borderline B, but fine. C. It is a good effect, though. It is like I will very often hear things before I see them. A lot of the time. Depends how stealthy they're trying to be. You know, it's not going to help you in a chase, but if they're like
Yeah.
sort of person, it does count to Iron Will, which is
It is a
which I reckon
tracking
we put
perk.
really high up.
It's very definitely a tracking perk, but it's. I don't know. Maybe I need to use it more, but I don't.
I think we need to drag agitation down. That looks weak. Wasn't agitation the first thing we put on there?
Yeah, let's say, yeah.
Can we put that 9 will like down one, because that looks really odd now.
Unine Grasp.
Iron Grasp, sorry. Iron Grip, whatever.
No, because I still think there's value in getting to, like, hooks that you want to get to. Like, I like, it's probably not at our level, but I have seen that, like, used effectively to, like, just get them to really far away hooks.
I guess.
You have more time to do what you want.
Alright, well let's press on. Sorry, I shouldn't be
Yeah.
going backwards. Surge. Surge is pretty good.
Surge is one I heard it was kind of iffy, and then people just started using it,
Yeah, I remember.
and nothing ever changed. And I'm like,
The best of Demogorgon's perks. That's not saying much, but
people are actually using it. Yeah, I don't know what to think of it anymore.
it's a 8% progression, which isn't too shabby. It's like I don't want to make it sound too good. It's a bit like pop, but you don't have to like make the effort to go back and kick. It's 8% rather than 25. It's something, and all within 32.
Sometimes
Perfect
you
for,
can
like,
get a
big
double
damage.
generator.
If you can, if they're like doing a last second like 90% gen, and you manage to whack even just one of them off, that will slow it down.
Well, no, you have to put them into dying, and
Yeah, I didn't mean I mean like the second hit. But if you can manage that, it's a good effect.
I might be wrong in this. I think if you grab somebody, it does that.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
think
counts
it's
as putting
called
them into a
which
dying
is kinda
state.
funny.
well,
Yeah.
this says it put into the dying state with your basic attack.
Oh, okay, it does. My bad. I know there's another perk that does something like that.
Yeah, but
think
it
it-
does have the basic attack rider, so
Is it Infectious Fright?
I think maybe.
Yeah, I think like 'cause
I think that's like when you're carrying them, so yeah, I've definitely recall grabbing someone and seeing the tentacles
Yeah,
come up.
Infectious Fright is put into the dying state by any means. Whereas
yeah. I just think that's
I
funny.
I
Yeah.
think Surge is a solid B.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a progression for like very little effort. Like you don't have to go out your way. It's decent progression.
I just think the radius is a little small, but other than that, that sounds
Yeah.
like a fine perk.
Yeah, I mean it's not great, but it's fine. I don't think it hurts. Surveillance,
Yeah.
which I was using that yesterday. Although I wasn't using it very well because I kind of
So this is a tracking perk that can be pretty good, but it also requires you to put in a fair amount of work.
It depends. Like, it also has a lot of good synergy with other perks. like just anything that
Sometimes,
that
yeah.
causes regression, like Surge. But
Oh,
yeah,
Ruin.
Ruin, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Ruin and
Ruin.
Surveillance is a really good combo. I loved using that.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
It's insane.
I
Just
should have used Surveillance more because I know for a fact it's damn good.
I remember hearing this perk was not very good when it first came out. I don't know if they changed it.
Find out.
See, and look.
Oh, last one, last two, or last three for 16 seconds. So yeah,
Oh wow, yeah, that's just completely random.
yeah. It's not. It's only like 1, 2, or 3, 3 at the most.
Oh, it only like it just see you get to see the regression for 16 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just it's weird.
But anyway, in its current form,
Also,
might
it,
even be A.
it makes generator noises a little louder, or go a little farther, just as a nice little bonus.
Yeah.
I think maybe A. That's very good information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It just
Territorial imperative.
Terrence. Yeah, here's let's put that right next to your buddy Monster's Shrine. What the fuck does he even do?
But if
again?
you run them together,
Well,
though,
this
they
one
are
at
S.
least gives you aura. Like it gives you the aura of a survivor entering the basement.
Admit it goes on cooldown.
True,
Technically,
but
they
how
do.
many people are going to be jumping in the base? It's only a 20-second cooldown, and honestly, if you know one person's in there, like
They're
know,
unhooking.
yeah,
The problem with it, it's like in concept, it's not the worst thing in the world. But if they
you kind of
they're
have
going
to
down
debate
there for an unhook, I mean, how much time is there between them passing the threshold of the basement and doing the unhook? It's like it's nothing. It's like once they've unhooked, you know they're there.
It's
The only
about-
funny thing is if you happen to take that and some idiot wanders down there to get an item, that's pretty fucking funny. But
yeah.
other than that,
Yeah,
Hey.
what's down here?
Yeah, no.
I kind of had that with the effect of
it's
Oh, it
not
was that- it
Monster
was that.
Shrine, but it's not out of F tier.
Yeah. They're opposite ends of the F tier, I'd say, but just because the territory imperative does literally something.
I was going to say nothing's predator.
Nothing is predator. Thanatophobia Is-
Apophobia.
is a perk I wish was good.
It's all right. It's
Just the numbers are just kind of weak.
They're they're too small. Like you have to run a killer who can get everyone injured and keep them injured.
it is killer specific. I run it on.
The thing is, but like, you run this with Plague, which is like the fucking dream scenario, and people still don't run it on her that much because
I do.
it isn't good.
I mean, we do, but it's also like I admit, honestly,
It's
I'm not
kind of
getting.
fillery.
Yeah,
Plague and Legion as
It
well.
becomes fillery. With it, the absolute best case scenario, it just becomes fillery.
I mean, 20% isn't if you can. It has to be those two kills though, because really they're the best at keeping everyone injured. But 20% isn't that shabby. Anything that like slows down repairing, especially.
yeah. It's just
I don't think it's as terrible as you're saying. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I'd probably say C to be honest with you. I don't think it's. I use it.
Yeah, that sounds like C.
yeah.
20%, but it has to be those killers, unfortunately.
That's the thing. Yeah, just
Well, I mean, I suppose it doesn't have to be, but it's ideal for them. The fact that it has like two killers that it's ideal for, I think, makes it better than D. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
it just feels like the numbers should be a little higher, just because.
I mean, 20%'s not.
Yeah,
I mean, they pushed them higher.
they did, but then they also like give it like a nerf as well. I forget exactly.
Yeah,
what they
where
did.
it doesn't affect healing.
Right. Yeah.
Which the
Yeah, I
idea
remember that,
was
yeah.
they would do that so they could push it higher because it didn't like, snowball itself so much.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they want to get out of that effect, but it's also stopping them from getting out of that effect. It's a little screwy.
It's this strange thing where they keep like they have a perk that no one's using, so they give it a trade-off. It's like, no, it needs to be good. It doesn't need to be slightly different. It's
I take mine also.
I would
like,
have been behind what they did with the trade-off if they had made the number increase more significant.
yeah.
Well, anyway, I think it's alright. As
Yeah,
long as you take it with the right killers, I think it's fine. I don't think it hurts.
it does stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, I think it's C.
Thrilling
Thrilling-
Tremors. I used to love Thrilling Tremors, and then I started realizing how much I didn't actually like it.
Throwing Tremors is the poor man's barbecue and chili.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives information. It's not terrible.
It's pretty good, but barbecue and chili just does whatever it does better.
I mean, let's be clear here. We're using it for information. It's not really
hmm
stopping the gen.
If
Not
you,
really.
yeah, I think like there was a video on slowdown perks. Is like, I guess we talk about Thrilling Tremors here. If you're using it as a slowdown perk, I am not sure how you think the game of Dead by Daylight is meant to be played.
It
I
is.
suppose. I mean, theoretically, if you get down someone and they were like very close to finishing, it will stop that. Like, oh, I'm just
If
gonna
they let go,
quickly tap. Well, yeah. Well, if they let go. Well, say they both get chased off, or someone's just nearby. They can't just quickly finish it as you're doing the hook thing, and you can't stop them. But that's very minor.
I also want to point out that it having a cooldown is kind of a slap in the face. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't
if you
look
happen
bad.
to get somebody down that quickly, like, just let them have it. That's. Ugh.
Would we put it in B though? Because it's a poor man's barbecue and chili, but barbecue and chili is S.
I would
No.
put it in B. I think it's alright. I don't think the information.
It's tough to say.
I feel kind of burnt by it, just because I just remember just being like, I really like this perk, basically on the concept, and then using it, I was like, just not getting enough.
I mean, you
benefit.
can close the distance when they're. If you know they're on the gen, you can get in there. But... And also, it's like not restricted by distance as well. If they're all huddled around. I mean, C or B, either or, whatever.
I'll give you that. It's still not. I've gotten enough use out of it that I can't say it's actually that bad, but it is a worse barbecue.
Tinkerer.
Here's a skill that probably I'm surprised doesn't have a cooldown based on how fucking good it is.
Welcome to S tier.
Let's throw
I would
in
say
just...
A, but I don't use it as much as you, so.
Oh, it's S tier. Jesus Christ. There's so many good things.
Yeah, I
with that.
guess. Yeah.
You put pop
Yeah,
on
no.
in that together, and it's like, wow,
Yeah,
this thing will
fair
go
enough.
off every time someone touches it. Cool.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
It synergizes well with the perks, the both of the slowdown perks. It lets you know where things. I love how it was
Gives you
garbage
a-
until they changed it from 85 to 70, and suddenly it was good because
Which
it gave,
So you've got
it
enough
gave
time
you
to
a
react.
reactable time.
I
Yeah,
want
80, you're not doing shit, but.
while we're
70,
talking
yeah.
about it, it's changes. I have to throw out the fact that this perk used to do something entirely different
Oh yeah.
because it just like it's some really early on. It was this weird thing where it was like it sped up the add-on or like it improved the add-on that increased or decreased charge times. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, atoms that affect the charge time of your power are 15% more effective, or 10%.
Wow, and it's like very little, which I guess maybe made them useful just because of
What
like.
a fucking weird. I'm reading that. What?
Yeah, no, that is actually what. it
Well,
is.
that back in the
that is
game.
the version 1 point. That is a very that was one of the. It is a very outdated power that they actually did change, mostly because they actually had to fucking keep maintaining that with every fucking new killer.
Yeah,
Like it was actually a pain in their own side rather than just being useless.
I remember it being like.
I've never heard of a perk that just applies to add-ons.
Yeah, no, it was weird.
Weird.
I think it got used just because all those small numbers added up for killers, but like it was so strange.
I'd love to. I mean, I know it's literally impossible, but I'd love to like play 1.0 this game just see how different it is, especially considering we didn't play it immediately.
Oh my god, it would be so different. So weird.
Yeah.
Trail of
This
Torment.
is the sad thing about games like modern games, like how they're updated and things. It's like there's just
Yeah.
games that are just essentially lost to time. Yeah, I'm not saying like 1.1's better than what we've got, but it's interesting, you know. It's like anyway.
I remember hearing actually yesterday that apparently Riot Games shut down a project that was just basically 1.0 of League of Legends, and it's like, why? I kind of get it, but
Well, why were they making it? Why did they shut it down?
kind of both, really. Like, I guess there is something interesting about like at least seeing the old versions, but at the same time, I feel like playing them, you just kind of be like, this is sad.
Anyway.
I just remember that apparently Twisted Fate's teleport was a basic ability.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! Just teleport
Isn't that
anywhere
that-
on the map.
Isn't that what a classic World of Warhammer is? Or am I misunderstanding that?
World of Warhammer?
World of World of Warcraft. I meant the thing that was ripped off from it, from Warhammer.
Warcraft 3 hero ability.
No. Yeah. What he's talking about is, WoW Classic is, yeah. They did WoW Classic. That's baffling to me. Like, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, that's
Well,
what we did.
basically, that was just they had a lot of pressure from people who just like there's so much pressure, and then they had they made one statement about it. You think that you want it, but you don't, and that became like a legendary thing that people would spit out of people, like as
Yeah.
mocking other. Like they would use it to mock other companies for what they were doing. You know?
Okay.
This is a whole thing. We could be here all night, all
Yeah.
morning. I need to sleep. Trail of Torment. Trail of.
It's more interesting now.
It is funny how this is one of those perks that like was introduced not too recently, or not too, you know what I mean, relatively recently, and then they had to kind of rework it because it's like, oops,
Yeah.
it was bad. So now when you kick a generator, you become undetectable until someone starts repairing that gen again, and it like highlights them the aura in that time as well. And that's
It's fine. I don't know. Undetectable.
You could become undetectable, but it's more like oblivious because everyone fucking knows you're running it, unless someone's stupid enough to be running. Well, not stupid enough to be running fucking Better Together.
if they just so happen to be. Yeah, that's pretty rare though.
Yeah.
So
I can't say I've used this.
It's not
maybe
terribly
Pyramid Head.
controllable though.
I'd say high C, maybe low C. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say it's solid C.
Yeah, see.
Like you can use it of that, but like the fact that everyone knows is makes it just kind of weak.
Right, we've got another one where it's like, can the survivors hit skill checks reliably?
Unnerving presence.
So
This is,
unnerving,
Ivana says that my meme kind of skill check build, it is not actually very good.
so unnerving presence has this weird thing where it makes the skill check zone smaller. It doesn't make the great skill check zone any smaller. So it has this weird thing where it might make someone fuck up more, but it also might make someone get more great skill checks, especially because it increases the odds of getting them.
Yeah.
It's weird. It actually kind of works against you. But again, there is that doctor build where it actually makes some sort of sense.
But for the record, my silly skill check build did not give me good results. It was very silly.
Yeah, that is a meme.
It
build.
works on lower ranks. As soon as you get to decent rank survivors, it just falls apart. Like people know how to land their skill checks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's D. I mean, yeah, D, absolutely D.
I actually got really good use out of it on the doctor build, but no, otherwise it's actually, no. It's arguably actually a predator kind of skill, but
Also, if you're in their if they're in your terror radius, they probably won't be on a gen. Ideally, like they probably won't be. I guess it's also not just gens, but you know.
well, I mean, again, if you build for it, they will, but yeah.
You have to build for that and then pay off. Like, I'm not gonna start pouring perks into something that's not even that good of a payoff.
Yeah, no, it's
which I have done.
It is funny on the Doctor. I stand by that. I've gotten really good use out of it, but only because the Doctor makes skill checks like really kind of random. Like it just adds even more randomness to it. So it can throw off more people, but again, higher ranked people are not going to fall for that.
Unperflentings, one of those stupidly old, outdated perks.
Eh,
It's not literally
beginner
useless,
perk.
but
I think it's like C.
I was gonna
It's a
say like
beginner perk,
maybe
but
even,
later on.
I was gonna say D or F.
Oh, definitely not F.
No,
Well,
it has uses, but it
Yeah.
You
mostly
shouldn't
has.
be whiffing that much though. It's only 30%.
I mean, you
That's
will
not
be
even.
whipping, but it. Yeah.
It's only 30% on a complete whiff. I think D. I think very much D.
No, I mean I've got use out of it. It actually.
I don't whiffing that much. It's only 30%. It feels like 100%. If it was like the going was twice as fast, that'd be amazing. But now it's only 30. That's like an entire perk.
I mean,
No, I think that's very much D.
the one thing I will say about it is you're going to be using your M1 probably a lot for most killers. So, in the off chance.
I haven't done that damn perk since I first started the game and I had nothing else. But I mean, you got a picture, right? Say if you swing at them, they're dead hard. Okay, you're going to be slightly slowed down. Well, it was 30% on that. It's nothing. That's not worth a perk.
Well, as someone who actually has used it recently, I think it's fine. I got a lot of use of it on the nurse because, missing attacks really sucks. So.
What is? Well, I mean, you say 30% is small, but what is fucking save the best for last? Like, obviously it's better because it's on hits instead of misses, but like as far as percentages goes, it is 5% per token. So that's
It's 40%. Yeah.
40% at 8 tokens.
I just don't whiff that much. It's not. They're dead hard. It's the only time I'll really flat out miss. I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those like crazily outdated perks. It's like too simple for its own good.
I mean,
Well,
again, I got a lot of use out of it recently. So.
Fair enough. All right. Fair enough.
I mean, it's C. It's not like great. You know what is great?
That's S.
Whispers, yeah.
No, I meant Xantian Tactics. No, I'm joking. It's Whispers. That's S.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be the good. Like, to get the most out of it, you have to like study it. But like, you can do some crazy triangulation shit.
Oh yeah, it's insanely good. It's like perfectly, if they're there or not. Like the number of times, like you don't even have to go near a gen to see if anyone's on it. You just sort of walk past it, and if Whispers is off, you don't even. How much time is wasted walking up to the gen to actually get it within line of sight? And then the exit gates, like damn, like you have to like hover between them, make sure you get line of sight for the red lights. It's just like no Whispers, I'll find them. Whispers is insanely good. I mean, I don't use it as much now, in place of more gimmicky kind of things, but Whispers is one of the best tracking perks in the game. It's probably the best actually.
I will say this is another strong contender for worst perk to have at level 1, because at some point, like, it feels big enough to where you can't figure anything out.
No.
So, but like
when we do this, we're all assuming it's level 3. So.
It's just mostly frustrating for me because I feel like every time I have it, I never have it at level 3 for killers because I've spread my points too thin, and I'm just like, I want to use this, but I don't have the one that actually makes it good. But yeah, no, it's good. And the last one is the Oni's best perk. It's only because
it's getting buffed. Yeah, right now it's
watching
this.
Oh yeah, right. They just got rid of the cooldown.
So cool.
And they also, yeah.
I don't know.
And they also made it a little larger, the radius.
Oh,
because that now scales instead of
and the previous value is the rank 1, new rank 1.
Oh, right. Okay.
Previously, you skipped the cooldown.
Not like bad at all, but
It's-
there's a point where you won't need it
It's a
anymore.
very training perk, but it's not a great one. It's kind of information overload too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say almost D. 'cause
Almost
it's
D, but I'd say C is just. It's just.
I mean, we're
okay.
kind of playing fast and loose with our little rules here, like who we're facing, who's playing the character, who's the killer. Is it apply to all killers? We're being pretty vague with our little ranking things here, but yeah, it's just presuming it does its job. It's C, I guess, or D if you've got more experience. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Jeez. That one.
How does that compare to the Survivor one? Like just in terms of like spread.
This one is a lot more spread out, I'd say. There was, I think, less F perks, but
less S perks.
less, yeah,
And A perks too.
yeah, there was a lot less S and A perks, for sure. I would say, I think there was more D perks. Yeah, it was like, there were a lot more worse ones, basically.
There's more variables to killer. You know, because of the powers and
Yeah.
what you can do. Like the hooking thing is like downing and hooking survive is more complicated than fixing edge generators, so to speak.
It's also more potential for survivor perks to be worse, just because they have to do smaller things.
Yeah.
And I think they, with these devs, it's actually, they kind of like overestimate the power of things, so they're like, yeah, you know, 120-second cooldown of being able to push a pallet back up.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, this is,
That was fun.
that took us,
Predator. We found that the Predator's the worst of the worst.
yeah, that's a good point.
Actively
Worse than
bad.
nothing.
There we go.
What does that say? I can't tell.
Huh?
Extra challenge.
Challenge mode.
Fucking- I'm gonna put you
The extra
down
challenge is it's like you take one perk rather than zero.
You somehow take 4 predators.
Well, no, it's alright though, because they become so squeezed together it starts becoming, like, reversed. It's, like, inverted. They start, like, going in opposite directions. It actually becomes really big.
It's just the whole map's covered with scratch marks.
Well, I know they were running. That
That
much
should
is...
I just realised something. Predator should be a survivor perk.
That's, yeah, we said, like,
I'm running that Predator lightweight build.
no, neither is the best killer perk, and, or the best, perk for killers, and then Predator is the best perk for survivors.
I do like it's like the no mither, but even no mither like gives you infinite like get ups, like it's something.
Literally something more than Predator does. Jesus Christ.
Predator is literally worse than nothing.